G'day. How are you?
G'day.
G'day,
G'day.
everyone.
Your intros get better and better.
Yeah, that countdown was great. Yeah,
That countdown was sick.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that was something I found. That's not something I made. I can't take credit for that one.
no,
Yeah,
no,
I
it's great.
always feel like I'm just getting ready to sit down in the cinema and get my popcorn out.
Thank you. How are you all? You going all? It's been a while since we've done this.
Yeah,
It's good to catch up again.
good. Excited to be here.
Yeah, it is. Like it's. I think it's been 10 weeks since we've all sat down, had a bit of a yarn, and
It really, wow.
I know, I
10
couldn't
weeks.
believe it. Like it's beginning of December last year, so this is.
Oh, wow.
We haven't done much of anything in 2024 personally, so it's.
I suppose it's quite difficult to get everyone together,
Happy
though.
New
Yeah.
Year.
Happy New Year.
So Luke and I, obviously, it's Saturday evening for us, so 9 p.m. But for you three guys, where are you in the world and time?
Andrew, we'll let you answer.
Oh, well, we're in Sydney, of course, and what is it? What's the time? Actually, I have to look at it this morning. It's too early. 8 o'clock in the morning at the moment.
8 o'clock.
Yep, just enjoying our Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you all 8 o'clock then? Because we're in different areas of Australia, so are you all 8 o'clock?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the same
All
time
right,
zone.
okay.
Yeah,
Not
not
quite as bad as what I was.
New South
Over in
Wales,
Perth.
yeah.
Yeah. Over in
Yeah, I mean,
Perth,
we're-
Western Australia, 5.
We're separated by hours, but I mean Australia's massive, so you know, relatively speaking, we're pretty close. We're well inside the same state and time zone, but yeah, we're coming to you from the future, boys, and it's not bad.
It's bright and sunny.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it'd be bright and sunny in the UK, but yeah. So you're on your day. Luke and I are just finishing. So yeah, well, it's been an up and down day for me at least. I had the highs of visiting a toy fair, Sandown, so we can talk about that maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the lows of realizing why insurance companies charge so much for insuring 17-year-olds in their cars, because my son has once again managed to damage his car.
Oh, no.
Oh no!
So,
Oh, no.
oh dear.
Oh, dear me.
There is
dear.
a reason why the insurance is so expensive.
Yep.
Wow.
No damage to him though, just the vehicle.
No. Thankfully, no damage to him. Yeah, that's.
Oh, I suppose that's the main thing. Yeah.
That's the main
For sure.
Maybe
And,
his pride. Maybe his pride a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all part of life's lessons, really, and like your lessons on the road. I remember as well, and I think I was 17. I had my first accident. I realised I was blind, as in not drunk blind. I was blind, as in I just couldn't see. I ran up the back of a car, and as they drove away, I couldn't see the number plate, and I went, "I've got something wrong with my eyes. I can't see what's going on here." Yes, it was a strange experience, but yeah.
Don't you always drive by feel?
Let me just stop and we'll say hi to the chat at the moment, who's popped in and said hello to us. We have that's
Hey,
5G Lee.
Yeah.
G'day. I guess.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks for popping in. We have
Hey, Adam.
Adam. Yes.
Hey, Adam.
Spent way too much time with Adam today.
Oh, did you? Yeah. Oh, at Sandown. Yeah. Okay. Oh, we're gonna have to get a bit of a rundown on that one. We've got Dan, insane in
G'day,
Toy
Dan.
Brain. I don't.
Yeah,
know
here you
if
go.
someone needs to stay with you. We've got Jewel Who Nine.
Morning, Jewel.
Always in the chat. Thank you very much. We got Simon.
Oh,
Hey,
g'day,
Simon.
Simon.
It's good to see you here. We've got Dino from Totally Taylor
Yeah,
Retro
Dino.
Hunters.
Ah,
G'day, Dean.
hello.
Same time as the. Oh, really? Oh, I didn't realize because there's a World Club Challenge on as well. I'm not sure
I
who they're
have
playing.
no
at.
idea what that is. What's that?
That's rugby league. So they're basically
Ah.
the champions of Australia, which was the Panthers in this case last comp, play someone in England in your Super League. So I don't know who that is actually. I can't remember. Do you know, Scotty?
I don't know. No, I mean Dino would know, but yeah, whoever
Dino.
won the English rugby league
Yeah,
last
who
season.
was it Wigan? Wigan always seemed to win when I was young.
Yeah.
It was the penny whistles.
Is rugby league a little bit more like regional in the UK? Like it's not like there's parts of the UK they really like rugby league more so than football, or is it just to play second fiddle a little bit? Or
I would love to answer that question, Scott, but I have no knowledge of rugby in the UK. I don't follow it. There will be certain areas. I mean, I guess places like St Helens and stuff like that are very big rugby places. But yeah, I have no real knowledge of rugby, so
No,
I couldn't tell you really.
Panthers versus Wigan Warriors. There we go.
Oh, that's
right.
yeah. Yeah, there he is, right down there. Oh, sweet. Thank you very much, Dino. Jonathan Redmond.
No, Jonathan.
Cannot get away from the guy with.
You didn't want to see us going to be here.
Yeah, there'll be some Mr. Baxter later as well, I dare say.
We got Gap After Dark. G'day, Gap.
Yeah, man.
Long time no see for Gap. I think he commented on one of our videos through the week. I went, oh, it's been such a long time since I've heard of you, Gap. He's in bed. Okay.
Let's talk about that, Adam.
Yeah.
No, it's already too much information.
Yes. Dear. All right, I think that's everybody. Yeah, Panthers Wigan. Yeah. It's talking about some bed habits. Okay, so not really like, the egg ball here in Southwest Bristol. They like egg ball, but UK is majority football. Yeah, it is better. I probably know that anyway with that comment. Well, union is more like. Do you guys know about the rugby union? Then, like, it's egg ball as well, isn't it? Fair enough.
I think the only thing I know about rugby league and rugby union, one does scrums and the other one does lineouts or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't watch much of either of them. But and PGMs has popped in.
Oh,
The Grange Hill teacher and the Loft Thumper.
The Loft Thumper. Oh yeah, I like that. Loft Thumper.
on that note, Dave, how's the back and knees and how are you feeling?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sort of okay. Although, when was it? Wednesday, Thursday morning, I woke up and I thought, I feel perfectly fine. But this morning I got up and I thought, my neck's feeling a little funny.
Yeah,
So.
36 hours, mate. 36 hours, they reckon.
Exactly.
Once you work the muscles,
But no, I did manage to escape after a fair amount of moving of stuff. But
well, I couldn't catch it live. I watched the replay, yesterday while I was going about my business, and I mean, it's some incredible stuff, mate. I mean, if that's your castaways tucked away in the loft, it says everything about your collection room. You know what I mean?
You know what? It's being on that. I love that show of Shabbies and Ties. I think it's a brilliant idea. It's a brilliant idea, and I hope it really sort of gets some momentum. So yeah, being on with those guys is fantastic. It was just fun, just looking through that stuff. Some of it, obviously I haven't forgotten about. I knew what I had, but there was some stuff that I haven't looked at for a long, long time. And there's further tubs at the back which I haven't touched for a long, long time. So yeah, it was just great to look through that. And the reason the cards are up there is because I just find it really difficult to display cards.
Yeah,
I don't have acrylic. I don't really go for that. So I end up storing the cards away just to make sure I don't damage them, basically.
The way you stored the Rambo ones was interesting. I've never seen someone have a plastic container, but you had that divider between the actual toy.
The A-team, yeah.
18 ones,
That's my patented filing system for vintage carded figures.
Yeah, it works.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it was brilliant to see. There's one thing though, Dave. It caught me when you're going through the soundtracks, and there was one there, and you said, "I love that. I love this show," and I went, "Oh my god, I've got to mention it." You love Mary Poppins, and I'm sorry. Do you say you love Mary Poppins?
DCB loves Mary Poppins. I don't know if I've seen the whole film. I probably have seen the whole film, but not in one sitting.
Okay, fair enough. I've pulled out a couple of figures, and I was going to show you. They were released, I think, maybe about 10, 15 years ago. They're actually from the Barbie range. And I thought, Dave will be excited in this because I don't know if Dave's got this. but you're not really going to be interested in it, so I'll just move on.
Matt, this is a safe space for you to discuss your love of Mary Poppins.
Absolutely, yeah.
No judgment here, Matt. No judgment here, mate.
All right. Well, I'll show you. So these came out. I love Mary Poppins. Like, it was the first CD, the first video VHS I bought when I was a young person, and I've gone and seen all the stage shows. So I'll just show these. I'm going to see. I have forgotten how to do a lot of things. Oh, here I am. I'm big. All right. So this is. So it's from the. It's like a Barbie. You can see there. It's from the collector. But this is the Mary Poppins figure, and it does. Without the glare, I'm really sorry. It does look a bit like Julie Andrews.
Yeah, that's a pretty good likeness.
Mm-hmm.
So this is from, I think, the Jolly Holiday. When they sang that song. Was a Jolly Holiday, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and the Dick Van Dyke, and that is amazing spitting image of Dick Van Dyke. I'm really sorry about the glare. I can't get rid of it.
When did these come
You can
out?
see it well.
These came out, I think, 2008 or 12.
Yeah, the likenesses look too good to be too old for them to be too old.
Yes, they're quite modern. Like they've released Mary Poppins figures, 2007. There you go. I was completely off. But there's the ones with Jane and Michael Banks as well. They had them, but we've cut someone off. What's going on? Come on, did Andrew drop off? Did he? Is that why there's only 4 of us?
Is he protesting against the discussion of
Mary Poppins? No.
He's disgusted at you.
Those are from Disney, right? So does that mean you have to go to the Disney sort of locations, or
no? I probably picked this.
Or maybe they're not Disney.
I think I've got a price tag. Yeah, so I must have picked these up. I think they were in Toys R Us at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're just part of the Barbie range. They must have just Mattel must have had an agreement with Disney to just do these figures. So they just did those 2 plus Jane and Michael Banks in another pack. And that, there's just amazing.
So how often do you watch Mary Poppins then?
Probably at least once a year. Sorry.
So you know all the songs off by heart then?
I do. If we go to karaoke, you pick a Mary Poppins song, and I'll be right as rain. If I want to be a bit more mature, I could probably do Red Hot Chili Peppers. But
so out of all of the soundtracks that are in that tub, Mary Poppins is the one that stood out for you. That's brilliant. I love it.
Sorry. Yeah.
I can't complain. I had Pretty Woman in there, so I can't complain.
And that's the funny thing about that show. Like, I suppose you wouldn't remember all the content. So it's like, well, I'm potentially going to be judged on what's the next thing. You know what I mean?
G'day, guys. Awesome. Thank you. I'll just go back through here. We got Travels with Jason. Travels along with Jason.
Hey, Jace.
Thank you for joining us. I think there's a lot of comments being going on here. While we've got. Does he? Oh, maybe it's a Matt thing.
It could be.
Oh, Jeff.
Just Jeff.
Wow.
Oh, dear. Is that? Oh, Jules, you like Mary Poppins as well? Okay. Yeah, cool. Well, okay, well, maybe it's not so bad. I've opened up. Okay, Baz.
Not at all.
Hey, Baz.
Not at all.
I've seen Mary Poppins the first time. I wanted to be. Yes, because I watched that whole Step in Time, and I was just fascinated with the choreography of that and the music, how lively that was. And I just went, oh my God, I want to be a chimney sweep. Is that such a thing? Can you do that in Australia? No. No one can do that. All right. Anyway, Luke, what have you been up to today? It's been a whole Saturday.
You know what? Yeah, I worked this. I have a little Saturday morning job. I did that this morning. Yep. And then in the end, I mentioned it to VTR Dave earlier. I ended up having a bit of an unexpected free day. Once I finished work, I go and look after my niece for a few hours. I got home around lunchtime, just to catch Rachel walking out the door with her sister to go shopping for the afternoon. So I had a few hours with nothing to do. So I basically just went through from a bit like Dave. I went through a few of my tubs and see if I had anything. I just tried to sort out a few bits to move on, and I've been tinkering in toy tubs this afternoon, which it's been quite enjoyable.
Yeah, never a bad way to spend a Saturday, Alvo.
Yeah. Empty house, just tinkering in the toy tubs. So it's been a good day.
I think that's what you've been doing that too, Andrew, haven't you?
Yeah, well, because I've been rearranging everything. Because I put in, I'm in a corner here, but I put in sort of like, if I can move the computer without it turning off all again. So I put in all these sort of white.
Oh wow!
Ooh, very nice.
So I'm in a corner, and and that was, I had this was all dark in this corner, so I had a light put in and things like that. So.
So that's like a corner unit that goes all the way around.
So yesterday I had to, because this was all Ninja Turtle stuff in this corner, and so I changed it. Oh, they're frozen.
We can hear you though, so keep talking if you like. If you can hear us.
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah, this was all Ninja Turtle stuff, and I moved it all, and so yesterday, you can't see me, but it's over to the other side there. I put all the play sets and the turtles back up, and that took absolutely. When I got the box, because that's the Ninja Turtle stuff is the Nickelodeon line I've got. I've got nearly the entire line. I think I'm just missing about one figure, and it's like 100 and something figures. It took me hours to set them up and go, and because all the weapons are dropped into the box, and I had to look it up and go which weapon went with what. And it takes a bit of time.
Which wall are you going to knock down to expand, Andrew? That's the question on the screen at the moment.
Well, there's fun in the spare lounge room, so they've still got toys stacked in there. So I'm waiting for me to
look at that one.
Start screaming about it.
DCB twin. You got to behave now.
DCB. Yeah.
Like that. Even Gent and VTR. Thanks.
Best behaviour.
Yeah.
Yes, and there's random Rick reviews.
Rick.
Yeah, thank you.
Baby
colors. Do we have Andrew? Like you're still frozen? Oh, there you are. You come back. You've just come back.
Yeah, I'm not frozen. I just look frozen.
Yeah, it's cold there. And Scotty, what have you been up to?
Look, nothing too exciting, just, very little in the way of toy stuff this weekend, just doing my normal thing. Oh, my light's gone out. My battery's gone. Am I okay?
You still see you're fine, Scott. Still see you fine, mate.
Yeah, not too much. I'm working on some videos yesterday, but nothing to report, nothing too crazy in the toy space. A little bit of tub rearranging because I've got a policy here. My collection room is so tight that it's like if it's not on display, it needs to be in a tub. When we have like a weekend where there's or consecutive weekends of toy hunts, things just stack up. You know what I mean? I'll come back, I'll film my pickups, and then I'll just kind of leave it there to do B-roll or to do other stuff until it's all filmed. And things have a habit of just the floor space in the room just fills up. So. This morning I was up early just to reorganize in here a little bit and a little bit of tub rearranging and popping stuff away and on display, but nothing to report. No toy hunts this weekend, unfortunately. I've picked up a couple of things recently, but really we've got toy fairs starting next month, and I want to get down to Canberra again, like in the next couple of months. It's been so long since we've been down there, so. I'm just laying low on the toy hunting a little bit at the minute, just reorganizing and getting ready for toy fair season to kick off.
So no pickups for you?
I do have a couple of pickups, just a couple of things that I've not shown on Instagram or in recent videos, but nothing too over the top.
Well, we'll start with
to Adam's point in the chat, just I'm brushing my hair 1,000 times a day and enjoying it while I still have it, because it is going in a matter of weeks. That's right.
Did you want to start with your pickups?
Me?
Yeah.
Adam made that comment, but I got a feeling that Adam really wanted to be using the comb in your hair.
Yes. Look, I've only got a couple of things, so I'll kick off because most of what I've been picking up recently has either been on Instagram or it's been in videos or it's coming up in videos that I'm working on at the minute. But I will show you a couple of things. I'll show you a vintage TMNT figure that I picked up recently. That's again going to be in an upcoming video, but we've not got to that yet. And it's a figure that I've been on the hunt for a while, and it's a figure that I believe it was in the top 5 wish list for 2024 stream that I did with Matt, because it's the last figure from 1991. It's the last original character from 1991. So when it comes to the vintage TMNT line, I'm collecting the first 5 waves, because after that, the line to me starts to really not resemble the original turtle line that I grew up with, because obviously toy lines that are around for a decade, they evolve a lot over time. So, it gets to the point where it starts to go into, turtle trolls and all that sort of stuff where it's just not really my thing. So where I'm at now is I've completed the first 3 waves, and I'm really working hard to complete 1991 and 92. 91 and 92 are full of a lot of themed turtle, gimmick-based figures, musical turtles and, Wild West turtles and all that stuff. So I like those. I'll get those in time. But what I'm really chasing is the last of the, original characters. And here we have the last original character that I needed from 1991. And it's this fella right here, King Lionheart. Not the easiest figure to find, at least here in Australia, and at least complete. But, we've got a mutant lion that's just like a classic riff on a medieval knight. Nice detail. Cool. Cape is all intact. I don't know if you guys can see it. Nice, it's a plastic pliable cape, but there's texture in the cape that looks really nice, and just some classic weapons as you'd expect with a bit of a riff on a medieval knight. You've got to have the sword. The accessories are in like a nice gold finish. They're not painted. As Playmates did with any of their lines. All the accessories are typically one color, and they're in the color of plastic in which they were cast. So we've got the sword, we've got the shield with some nice detail there, and then we've got like a royal scepter.
Wow, yeah.
And unlike
I've never seen this figure, sir.
Yeah, 1991, so it's the 4th wave of the line. And unlike a lot of the TMNT figures from this era, just the 3 weapons. Like a lot of them came with 6, 7 weapons, which makes it difficult sometimes to track them all down. But for King Lionheart, we've just got the 3. But, just nice colors. I like this figure a lot. So this is the last original character that I needed to complete 1991. So I'm stoked to have him complete, and not a cheap figure. So good to tick him off. And just a shout out while I'm at it, I picked up this figure from a buddy, a friend of the channel, Adam Cahill. I've mentioned him a couple of times now. He's a local guy here in Sydney he's selling off a lot of his collection. If anyone wants his details, because he's listed it all on Facebook. Matt, I think you've picked up some pieces from him.
Indeed.
Yeah, so if anyone wants the details of Adam's Facebook page, you just message us on Insta, and I can send you through a DM with a link, or I can pop a link in the chat once one of you other blokes are showing your stuff. Just so that's really my latest figure pickup that I just wanted to share. One more thing. So
Scott, I've never, until that point in time, I had never heard of it, that figure, seen that figure.
No, me neither.
Never knew it existed.
Yeah, it's like King Lionheart. It's not a Casey Jones or a Baxter Stockman or or a Krang. It's fourth wave in the line, and the 4th wave of the vintage TMNT line had probably at a guess about 40 or 50 figures. So it's where the line exploded, and you could probably say that maybe 1990 or maybe 1991. That was probably the high water mark for the Turtles franchise of that era. It was just exploding, tons of figures. And like I said, lots of gimmicky themed variations of the Turtles. But what I love about that line is like the original mutant characters.
Yeah.
And
Scott loves Ninja Turtles.
To Jeff's point, it definitely starts getting weird in 1992, that's for sure.
There's a lot of drugs in the 90s.
Very true. Very true.
Mind you, and the 7. I mean, every decade.
So I heard. I was 8. And then I'll just show you guys one more thing. This was from Second Childhood Toys in Western Sydney. A few of us went there 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I didn't find too much. But I did find a couple of bits and pieces, and I've shared a few things on Instagram. One thing I haven't shared is I quite like picking up trade magazines from the era of toys that I collect. So the big ones that I pick up are Lee's Action Figure News, I think it's called, and Tomart's Action Figure Digest. I think those are the main two. I've got one here that I've not picked, that I've not really seen before, and it's this one. It's called Action Figure News and Toy Reviews.
That's a Lee's one though, isn't it?
It doesn't say Lee's, unless it's the same. It just got.
It looks
renamed.
like the same sort of title though that he uses.
It does. Yeah, it doesn't say Lee's. Maybe it is Lee's because this is quite early. This is issue 27. I mean, it's quite early for the other ones that I have, and this is like early 1994. Yeah. And like, I'm not picking them up. I mean, this was $5. I mean, if I see this sort of stuff, I'll grab it as long as it's from the era that I collect. And there's some really cool stuff in here because this is so. One thing that really interested me about this is, firstly, a thing that's interesting is it's got a full price guide.
Yeah, they used to do that. Tomart used to do that, but the thing is, what killed Tomart off was eBay.
Yeah, I can imagine. But the price guide isn't a price guide of suggested retail price for things that are coming out in 1994. It's values of 70s and 80s toys at that time, which is really interesting. But the main reason I picked this up was two things. One is it basically announces the release of the final wave of Hasbro WWF figures, which are the green cards. I mean, these things are hundreds, if not thousands, on card a pop now. They're ridiculously tricky to track down. And what's interesting is it calls them green cards. I assumed green cards was just like a collector's term that's emerged over the years to refer to that line. But even in 1994, when it's announcing the release of them, it's referring to them as the green cards, which, I mean, it's the cards are green. I suppose it's not much of a stretch. I just thought that was interesting. And the other thing is it showcases all of Playmate's toys releases for that year, including Monster Force, which is a line that I've only relatively recently discovered, but I'd love to try to get some of these. Whether it came to Australia or not, I don't know. I would assume so because this is an Australian magazine, but I never see them. I never see Monster Force. They're essentially, modern for 1994 takes on Universal Monsters characters. So
yeah, never heard of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I won't labour on it too much. I just thought that was interesting. If I see this stuff from the late 80s to the early mid 90s, I'll just pick it up, and it's cool to see some of this stuff and just awesome photography and all that good stuff from that era.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Let me just catch up with the chat a little bit. So it looks like someone opened up a tub and found League of Legends figures I totally forgot about. For like 3 years. See, you're inspiring people to open up tubs, Shabby.
Yeah.
That was a sweet. I see you skipped the comment. Oh, okay. Sorry, Pete. I have to say I don't have my glasses on, and I can only see. It's a bit of a blur, so I'm not really sure. Sometimes, like you'll see me like going like I'm trying to read that because if I go here, it's a blur. If I come in here, it's clear as. Sorry, Pete. I missed that one. What's Adam saying here?
Yeah, I think PGM and Adam have a bit of a strange exchange here. Don't worry, Matt.
Adam gets me.
That's all right. I know you guys like you should stir each other a lot. So, so they may have PGM. We don't know what they get up to. Well, I think Scotty, you're getting a haircut soon, aren't you?
I am.
Raising money.
I am indeed. I'm doing World's Greatest Shave this year, so I'm about 3.5 weeks now, and I'm going to be bald, and I'm going to be beardless. So we'll see how that goes.
Wow, the beard's going as well.
I think so. Just to kind of
just to even
maximize the change.
Wow. Yeah, good for you.
Yeah.
It's good cause,
So,
though.
but
Yeah,
on that
Great
note, I
cause.
want to give a massive thank you and a massive shout out to people that have donated and supported me, whether it's sharing the video that I put out last week, or donating, or just sending me well wishes. I really do appreciate all the support. So yeah,
For sure.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
It's a good cause. There you go, Scotty, just from a message from Jeff, if you haven't seen that already.
yeah. Jeff, I saw your comment about a Playmates Toy Fair guide from the 90s. That is definitely something that interests me, mate. So yeah, well, let's chat. And I can certainly arrange some Tim Tams for you, my friend.
If you order Tim Tams for Luke, you're going to have to send him about 5 packets.
Don't worry, though, Matt. I squirreled a pack away this time. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. You just told her.
Nah, she's not watching this. Don't worry.
Pete, thank you for pointing out my error, my friend. I was going to blame it on the early morning, but it's later for you. I'll blame it on the early morning.
Yeah, he's outside of PGM. He's done.
He's very observant.
I'm on it early today.
Scotty did that on purpose, didn't you, to see if anyone was watching?
I didn't notice, and Matt, you can't.
No, I can't say I noticed either.
You could have been holding up 2 fingers or 1 finger, and you.
Yes, you could be holding up a middle finger to me. Mate. It's terrible. Well, we're going to use Adam.
Oh wow, 800 quid. Oof.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Dear me.
they're expensive, those last ones. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Beyond
sure.
Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh man. Like I thought I was at the end of the comments, and all of a sudden a whole bunch more just popped up. Oh, okay. Yeah. I think he does. Is that right, Scott? You want that?
Yeah, I spotted that. Yep, I'll be chatting with Jeff, no doubt. But I appreciate that, mate.
It's probably not a bad investment, those toy guys, because I know I see some at toy fairs from the 70s and 80s, Palo Toy ones, for example, and they're showing Star Wars and they're showing Action Man, and quite often they have pictures of prototype figures as well, because it's they're just like trade catalogs before formal release. Yeah. And then I asked, well, how much is one of those? The 1979 catalog or whatever. And it's like hundreds of pounds. And you just think, oh, okay. Wow. it's great, but not that great, So you never know. You never know what they're going to be like in the future.
Yeah, no, true. That's right. But they're just great to have. I mean, they're enjoyable to look at, as whether they're early production samples or prototypes or whatever. But they're great for videos as well. They're just a good resource to have on hand for sure.
Yeah. Hey, Dino.
G'day, Dino.
Hey, Dino.
Mohawk is on the way. Yeah. How about you, Mr. Dave? Would you like to? You went to Sandown.
Yes. Well, it's interesting you talk about the sort of toy fair season, and yours is going to start, I don't know, next month. Whereas here in the UK, it's kind of just gone with a bang, right, from the beginning of the year. So I've already been to, I don't know, 3 or 4 toy fairs this year, and they're springing up all over the place as well in the UK. It's definitely a new trend. There's another toy fair tomorrow. I'm not going to go to that, but yeah, they're pretty much. I think you can probably go to one every weekend during the season. They're really sprung up. I did go to Sandown this morning. Fantastic show. It's one of my favourites of the year. Met up with some really cool people. Adam was in chat. Met up with him. Stu and Georgie, Universal Toy Collector. Tim Boss Bounty was there as well today. Martin and Adam Long, long time. I can't remember the name of the channel now.
Long time ago.
Long time ago. Yeah, they were there, and that probably missed names as well. Matt 000 Toys, and Jules, his friend as well. So yeah, lots of people to meet. Good show, and I've picked up stuff, but I could show some of that, but I've got some other bits that I picked up prior, so I'll probably do a video on the Sandown.
Yeah, whatever you like.
Yeah. So let me just start. So you might be aware of the Kickstarter. Maybe 18 months ago now, maybe longer. I don't know. For the RoboScale Mark II.
Oh yes. Yeah.
And they're doing an interesting thing, which is they're releasing bits of that Kickstarter as they become ready. So they released the Skelly-drones to start with on card, and this is a Skelly-drone. I've got one loose here somewhere. So that you basically get 3 of these on a card. These are pretty cool. So this is all Action Force, customs, modern sort of take on Action Force Red Shadows or the enemy team. And for the Robo Skull, they're releasing figures as well in different scales, because the new Robo Skull can handle, I think, 6-inch down to 3 3/4 inch. And so they released a couple of new figures recently. So this is one, which is the Wolf Trooper.
Wow, that looks cool.
So this is a kind of, I guess, influenced by the Robo Skull pilot from the old days. So that's the 4-inch version. And I'll tell you what, these.
I was just about to ask the scale, Dave.
Sorry?
I was just about to ask about the scale. It just looks slightly bigger than.
Yeah, this one's a 4-inch.
Right.
So I didn't go for any of the 6-inch figures. I just went for the 4 and 3 3/4. The card art on here is amazing. It's actually really nice quality, this stuff. And also the figures. If you look up closely, the figures are amazing. This guy's got a helmet that he can attach over his head, and they've got all sorts of accessories.
Yeah, it looks nice.
They have a backpack with you can see on the sort of card art. There's backpack with the accessories and stuff. So all the accessories have places to go and what have you. And then
the cardstock looks solid there, Dave, as well.
Yeah, it is. It's really high quality. So
Yeah.
this bodes well for the Robo Skull itself. And then my favorite is the 3 3/4, because that was the original scale for Action Force. So this is the 3 3/4 version of the same figure, Wolf Trooper, and he's got another head. So he's got like a sort of skeleton head for like a Skeletron.
Oh wow!
So Skeletron was one of the original figures. There we go. I've got it here actually. I don't know why I've got it here, but I do. So that's the original Skeletron. Figure. If you're not familiar with that. Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
So this is the Wolf Trooper, but kind of also doubles as a Skeletron with a different head. So these are really nice. So I'm really looking forward to when the Robo Skull appears.
Is that just an independent toy line? That's not one of the big fellas like Hasbro.
No, it's a Kickstarter basically. It's a Kickstarter independent. It's I think the company's called Skeletron.
Okay.
You see there's the
that's it
logo
right
there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to start. I thought it started with N, but I've realised that your camera is opposite.
Oh, am I reversed?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Let me see.
Everything's coming in backwards, so I'm trying to read his name. I'm like, no.
Let me mirror this. Okay. So let me just test that. Is that now coming out correctly?
Yeah. No.
No.
Trooper back.
Oh yeah, no, the name is backwards. Yeah, I didn't even pick up on that.
What? I've just mirrored it. How can that be?
That's bizarre, isn't it?
Well, Matt's not got his glasses on. It was probably right before.
No, I'm close to the camera. my eyes are glued to the camera.
Because we're in Australia, it's upside down as well.
Yeah. So I know Luke's getting into a lot of new lines and stuff, and there's a couple of lines that I'm getting into, and one that I've been eyeing for quite a while is one called Computer Force, or in the US it's Computer Warriors.
Yes.
And and when I went to Shepton Mallet in January, which is traditionally a kind of die-cast and trains oriented fair, and you find the odd sort of modern, you find the odd sort of action figure. I was really surprised to find this. That is back to front, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting annoyed by it myself. There you go. That's right. There we go.
It's nothing's changing on screen, Dave.
No, it's not changing on screen. Why?
Nothing's changing on the screen. No.
Oh, but I can see it correctly. That's weird. Oh well, I'll just carry on.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. So this is Computer Force. It came out just at the end of the 80s, so 89, and then I think went into 90. It didn't last very long. But this is right up my street because my background is in computer programming, and this is all about a virus basically that escapes and then disguises itself as kind of everyday objects. So you've got a whole load of figures that are named after computer terms. This guy is debug. I've got a loose async over here. So they're all computer terms. But it's really the play sets that are the cool things, because the play sets, if you look at the back of the card here, the play sets are things like a football, that then transforms, or it's a book or a pencil sharpener.
Was there a Pepsi can?
Yeah, Pepsi can. That's right. There's a Pepsi can.
So cool.
So these are all things that you would kind of find on your desk as a kid, right?
Mm.
And then they transform into play sets. And this is one of the loose figures. So this is async. And then if
What
you look
year
on
did they go up to?
Hi, Daddy.
what year did they go to?
What year did they end?
I think it's 90. I don't think it was around for very long.
Yeah.
It came out in 89 and then finished in 90, I believe.
Imagine if it was close to 2000, then they could have had Y2K.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I was really surprised to see this, and my tack now with new lines is to try and find the hardest thing first, and then once I got that, then hopefully the rest of it all falls into place. So a long time ago, I managed to find in the US, well, I believe it's one of the hardest things to find in the line.
Oh,
And I love this, by the way, absolutely love it. This, I believe, is one of the most underrated or perhaps unknown play sets ever.
Cool.
what?
How cool is that?
Yeah.
Wow.
A computer from the late 80s with a CRT monitor. It does have on the side a CD-ROM, so it was, I guess, just when CD-ROMs were coming out.
Yeah.
And there are CD-ROMs in there, but this whole thing opens up into a huge playset, basically.
Wow.
So yeah, it's so cool. This. So at one point I'm gonna have to do a video on this, I think.
Well, I was just going to ask, are you going to do a video? Because that'd be really interesting to look at.
Yeah. So I think I might have to get a few more of the play sets and then do a video on this stuff, because it's just so it's a line I didn't know about, and I should know about it because it's right up my street. So I love this.
I mean, we've seen a Pixel Dean video. It wouldn't have been too long ago. It's within the last 12 months on the computer, or Computer Warriors, as you said.
Yeah.
So I know I have heard of them, but you kind of forget because it's such a little known line. And when Pixel Dan mentions it, I'm sure everyone gets online to look them up. And I know I did. But yeah, now that you've brought that up, and they're pristine. Like I think his was loose, I think, as well, Pixel Dan. So
yeah, that Computer HQ I've been looking for maybe 9 months last year. Was hunting that down. I saw a few, and then it was like I found one that was the right price. Then messaged the guy, did a deal, so got it even better. And that was a good one. And then I got one more thing to show, if that's all right.
That's what I was going to go to. Someone's admiring. Jeff's admiring your Pally play set back there. So
which one?
You're nice to play set behind
the
you
Action
there.
Force one.
Yes, Pally toy. Well, I have literally before this stream just released a video on a Saturday. What's going on, VTR? I just did a video on that playset, so it's pretty cool. I don't know if you can. I daren't lift it up because all the figures will just fall off. But hang on, hang on. I've got technology here, I think.
You're having a lot of tech issues on Wednesday night, though, weren't you? Up in that loft.
Yeah, but I was in the loft. I mean,
that's right. A lot of issues up there. Period.
I don't know about you, but my loft isn't all that teched out.
It didn't look very big.
What am I doing? What's going on? Hang on. Oh, what have I just done?
When is the Robo Skull due out? Do you know?
It's supposed to be this year.
Okay.
Is that working?
Yep.
Yeah, we can see.
Look at that.
That is so cool.
So this is from Pally Toy, and he focused on vintage Star Wars sets, but he this year, just released this Action Force Baron's Lair, it's called. So I just did a video on that.
That's
love
excellent.
That.
I watched it before coming on, actually, Dave.
I
watched it before coming on, actually.
Oh right, cool, nice. So I've got one more thing to show, if that's all right.
Okay.
This is like Columbo.
Yeah.
Just one more thing.
Just one more thing. So we all know who this guy is.
Yep.
Yes.
That's Rocky, played by a certain actor.
Sly. Yep.
Sly.
G'day, Jetty. Thanks for joining us.
We all know who this guy is, played by a certain actor.
Oh, I think I know. I think I know what's coming.
Dear.
And I believe Scott used this exact phrase earlier. Over the top.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, no way. Did you get the
Wow.
Oh,
There he is. There he is. So this is the is it 6? I guess it's 6 or 7 inch. I'm
Yeah,
not
the
sure what it
smaller
is.
scale with the arm wrestling action.
Yeah, is he? Yeah. So you twist. Which one is it? There, you can see. Hang on, I think if I can put it up, the arm up, and then
Wow.
you've got a little knob there, I guess, on the back.
Yep.
And then
Mate, those are rare as rocking horse shit, especially in Australia. They just never.
Wow.
It's like the Queen almost waving.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Dave, please tell me he comes with a cap accessory that you can turn around backwards.
No, unfortunately not. However,
Oh no!
we're not going to stop there because
Just one more thing.
yeah, just one more thing. Yes, indeed. So that's a battered card, right? And then those are the figures you could get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was a arm wrestling table.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've seen that. That was at Low when we went down to Melbourne. They had that in box, didn't they, Scott? Remember that?
They did. They did. I can honestly say, guys, and I might be kicked off this stream. Over the
What?
Top is my favorite Stallone movie.
Oh yeah.
Why on? I mean,
Over
Hang
the
on.
Top.
So
Over the
Scott
Top.
gets kicked off for Over the Top, but Matt stays on for Mary Poppins.
That's
How
right.
does that work?
hey,
Sometimes-
it's Matt's stream. He can do what he wants.
I felt safe to say that after Matt gushing about Mary Poppins before.
To be fair, Scott. I mean, obviously, it's certainly not my favourite Sly film, but I understand why you love it because it's one of those films. For me, it falls into Top Gun with Tom Cruise because it's so bad. It's so bad. It's good.
It also, as a kid, oddly enough,
Top Gun, come on. What's going on?
the 80s metal music that played while Lincoln Hawk was cross-countrying across these beautiful shots of the American landscape. As a kid, it made me want to be American.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. I remember thinking that as a kid. Like, it made me patriotic for a different country. I'm like, man, that's awesome. Sly is so cool. Turns that hat backwards and gets superhuman strength, just like Mighty Max. I love that shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great.
So you're going to show another? Yeah.
So this guy, I'll try and remember all the names. So this is
So that's the guy who wrestles right at the end, isn't it?
yeah, that's right. Is it Bob Hurley or whatever his name is? Yeah. So it's him, and they all have the same action on the back.
But opposing arms. I know, yeah. There'd be all the left arm, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Right arm, yep. Yeah.
Calm down, Adam. Adam's in the chat freaking out about me saying Top Gun was bad.
That's a big guy. That's that's Clive Dean. That's Clive. Yeah. I mean,
one of these was a real arm wrestling guy, wasn't he?
That's right. Yeah.
Who was that?
I can't remember which. I think it's this guy, isn't it? Grizzly. Is it Grizzly?
Could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he have a beard?
I
There's
can't
Grizzly.
believe
Yeah,
you
it's
call
that guy.
those.
Wow.
He was a real arm wrestler.
There you go. There's your backwards cap.
Yes.
There we go.
Take it off him. Put it on Lincoln.
That is so cool.
I'm going to try and find now a 7-inch cap and send it to you, Dave.
And there's the arm wrestling table.
Oh my god!
Oh no way!
Oh, you got the table as well. Wow.
Yeah, that is awesome, and it's kind of. I haven't tried it yet. I haven't tried it with the figures because I'm too scared of breaking everything. But yeah, these bits kind of move in and out, and then you can literally have an arm wrestle. So that's why they're so broken, most of them.
That
because
is so cool.
Yeah.
So you must have found them in the US, did you, Dave? You can't have got them here,
this is
surely.
US, definitely US. Yeah.
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 You should do a short, Dave, with the two of them like reenact a scene or something like like that. That'd be cool.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
actually. I like
with
that.
the audio of the film.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
I like
How many
that.
more
I like
characters
that.
is there to get, Dave?
How many?
Yeah, how many more characters is there to get for that?
There were 6 characters in all.
Yep. 3 more. 2.
There's Oh yeah, this is Iceman.
Oh, there's another one. Wait a sec. Let me get big. Iceman. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched this
Iceman.
recently. Yeah.
And now we're just stealing Top Gun names.
That's Top Gun. Yeah.
And then who was this guy? Oh, Golden Boy. Yeah.
God, he's a good one.
So you got all of them.
That's all of them, is it?
Yeah. That's
Did you,
how many is
you
that?
bought that as a set, Dave?
Not as a set. I managed to
Individual
find them sort of in. I found a few as a set, and then I found a few others.
Yeah.
But yeah, wheeling and dealing hard, because if you go on eBay, they're super expensive.
Yeah.
So yeah, wheeling and dealing hard, and then making use of my friend who lives in the States to get a local delivery, basically, which a lot of the sellers in the US just like to ship US only. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, you've done well there, Dave. I'd just like to comment on Just Jeff's comment in the chat. Absolutely 100% agree. He says we got toys based on Over the Top, but not on Cobra. If there was a Marion Cobratti action figure, I would be buying it without a doubt.
You know what? And also, so I put out an Instagram post with the three characters, the Rocky, the Rambo, and the Over the Top, and asked, are there any other figures of Sly from the 80s? And there is. There is a 3 3/4 Ertl figure of Rocky in diecast.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm going to try and hunt that one down.
And you've also got Demolition Man.
Yeah, there's Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that 80s or that 90s?
I think that's early 90s.
That's 90s, I think. Yeah, but I mean, I think that's a great Stallone film as well.
Yeah.
I think
I
Wesley
love that
Snipes
film
in
too.
that as Simon Phoenix is brilliant. Yeah.
For sure. If I can just clarify an earlier statement, I'm not saying that Over the Top is the best Sly film, but just the one that's closest to me. You know what I mean? I love it.
Yeah, no, totally get that.
The one that I can watch
had
on
to watch it
repeat
at Christmas because I knew I had those in the US because I've been looking for those for throughout the last year, because it's taken a while to get those together. So I knew I had them, but they hadn't been delivered to the UK. So I thought, well, I've got time over Christmas. I'm going to watch Over the Top.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
You know, in Rambo, because Rambo's the first Rambo is one of my favorite films, but you know where he gets
my favorite Stallone film.
Yeah, you know where he gets the tarp, you know, and cuts it into a
poncho.
Into a poncho. Well, I saw a thing that he was saying about that was actually in a junk pile there, and he ad-libbed it. He grabbed it and he cut it and he made the poncho, and the piece of tarp. That was just
that wasn't part of the film. He actually did that.
Yeah, that's right. He cut it up. They didn't give it to him, and also he still got it.
Sweet.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
cool.
Yeah.
It was amazing when he was telling the story about it, and I said, "Oh, and he still got." Yeah, he goes, "And I still got it."
That's cool. Yeah, I love stuff like that. I love info like that. Yeah.
Didn't Sylvester Stallone move recently? Because he had a house, didn't he, in LA? I guess. A huge kind of mansion, I guess. And then didn't he have like a statue of himself in his garden?
He probably would have.
And he moved, and I think it was like Adele or someone like that bought the house, and I think Adele said, "I'm just going to keep the statue there."
It must be the statue of him with his arms up, with his boxing gloves on, like
something like
the
that.
One in the movie. It's got to be that one, hasn't it?
Tell me if I'm right or wrong, but I'm sure there's some truth in that story.
It probably sounds true.
Yeah.
Lukey, did you want to show anything?
I've got a few things I can show. So I mean, going on to what these are going to be connected to videos, but to be fair, they probably won't be shown for a while. So I think everyone will have forgotten about them by then. So I'm happy to show them. But what referring to what Dave mentioned earlier, I have a tendency now that I am just let me just clarify with that, Adam. I wasn't saying Top Gun's a bad film. It is a good film, but I think falls in that category. It's so cheesy and what have you. It's actually a good film. I like it. So yeah. Anyway, I think I've ended up in these realms where I kind of almost want everything. You know, I just. And I don't mean everything for every line. I'm not a completist, so when I dip into lines, I'm not generally bothered about completing them, apart from Star Wars the 96 is the only one I want to complete. But I've ended up in this realm at the moment of I keep seeing things and I'm so easily influenced. I keep seeing things and I just go, I like that. And a week later, I've got something from it. And it's not been on my radar at all. And that's happening to me a lot lately. So I said in a recent video, I think I showed Rock Lords. And I mentioned in the intro to that video that this is one of 4 new toy lines that I've started picking up. And they will obviously come on the channel. It's now 5. Because I saw something last week on Facebook which just gave me that hit of nostalgia. And I was like, right, I'm buying those. So I bought a few. I'll show you one of them. But I don't know how familiar you guys are in Australia with what I call the sort of puppet shows. So, for example, when I was a kid, there was so many puppet shows like Thunderbirds and Stingray and things like that. Now, they never hugely appealed to me. I felt they were a bit too nice. I was a kid back in the day. I kind of liked things a bit darker. So I tended to gravitate towards things like Captain Scarlet and the Mysterons, things like Joe 90. And then one show that I kind of loved and hated all at the same time because the main villain scared the crap out of me.
G-Force.
Was Terrorhawks.
Oh.
I don't know if you recognise that.
Yeah.
And Zelda was the main villain. She used to scare the crap out of me. She looked terrible, but so I ended up picking up Terrorhawks, and that was very much on a whim. I mean, these are from 1983. And they're really cool. And I managed to get them in a bundle, and I'm only missing one character from the lot I got as well. But another one that I've ended up picking up another new toy line, and I will show you one from it. I've got a few, but I'll show you one. Is the '89 Toy Biz Batman figures, but this obviously isn't.
Yep.
It's not logoed Batman, so this. I don't know if you guys know, but the Toy Biz figures back in the early 90s, when they did Batman, they only released 3 figures on the Batman card with the Batman logo. They released Batman himself, Joker, and
Bob the Goon.
Bob the Goon, that's right, yeah. And if you wanted the villains from Batman, you had to go into the DC Comics superheroes from the same line to get them. So I picked up the Riddler. I have got a few more coming, so this is another one. So that's what two more of the 3 new lines I'm getting, and this one is for Andy. Andy will like this one, and I also got this guy.
Yeah, you're beautiful.
I got this for a real good price. The missiles are in the cockpit there. I haven't put them in.
It hasn't got the clamshell.
Say that. Sorry.
You haven't got the clamshell for it.
What's that? You might have to educate me, Andy, because I'm.
I'll show you. Hang on. I'll be back in a second.
Okay.
Maybe a bit more than a second.
Okay.
No, if I can get to it.
But yeah, but that's
Does
so.
Andy need sat now in his room?
There'll be some Batman Toy Biz coming on the channel
Andrew
as well.
will return.
But that was purely from. I never had those as a kid, but my cousin did. And I remember used to go play with him at his house all the time. And I remember Batman had the retractable belt with the, you could whiz him up there. And it just, again, I saw those. I was like, I remember playing with those. So, so I've dipped into those as well. But there's a few more yet as well.
Just remember in the film, he goes shields on.
Yeah.
Well, this is they had a clamshell that you put over the top of it to make it look like the.
Of course, right. So it's armored up.
Yeah, so it's armored up. So that just slips over the top of it.
I had no idea that existed.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's very fragile too. So a lot of them you get, and
I'm clearly searching for that.
Split. There.
Right. Yeah, I had no idea that existed. I'm clearly searching for that later.
They they also in that. Is that the same? Can you show that card again? Sorry, Luke, the one with the Riddler on it.
Which? Yeah.
Is that like? Let me just make it big again. Is that toy superheroes? Yeah. So in Australia they release him. So if you look on the side of his knees, he'll have like a silver bolt through it,
like pins. Yeah.
So they released like Robin and Superman and Flash and Wonder Woman as well.
They did. Yeah.
And
they did.
That's the way you can distinguish the between
Yeah,
them and the
this-
kind of superpowers, like the
Yeah.
bolt in the side of the knee. So
Yeah.
there's also, what have I got up there? There's obviously Lex, Luthor, Joker, and what's the guy with the coin? Two-Face?
Two-Face, yeah, Harvey
But
Dent, isn't it?
How did that work though? I got sirens here. I don't know if you can hear that, but
I'm going to take it away.
Kenner obviously released the superpowers line. So what, Toy Biz, a separate company, were able to get the same molds to reproduce those figures, but just with the slight variations in the knees.
Yeah, I think it was after the superpowers ended, wasn't it, Matt? That
Yes.
they took it over.
Because they're not, because the Toy Biz are 90s. Obviously, the superpowers
Yeah.
were kind of mid 80s. So
Mid 80s, correct.
it's unusual that they were able to get the Kenner molds because those figures are so similar.
Yeah, because even with the I think it's a motorbike that Toy Biz has, and then they changed it a bit from the Kenner line. It was the same sort of mold, but they changed
Oh, wow,
it.
yeah, that's nice. Wow.
Yeah, but there was the other version, the Kenner version, wasn't there, Matt?
Correct. Correct. There is. So yeah, this was. I think the Toy Biz was a little bit cheaper than the Kenner ones. Is that right?
Oh.
Like these
That
were,
was in great shape, Matt. The box looks fantastic.
This is fun. Yeah, the funny story was a guy he came across a bunch of these. This is in Australia too, so it's a bit. He found a bunch of them, and just sold them off for $10 each.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
so
like,
crazy.
this was maybe 12, 18 months ago. So
What's
yeah,
that, like £5 in UK? Wow.
Yeah, it must have been about £5. Yeah, but it's a very light.
Only a year ago. I thought you were going to say like 15 years ago or something.
Yeah, wow.
No, like about 18 months ago. Yeah, 12 to 18 months ago, and I just found it. And I think he said like he had found maybe I can't remember, like a personal collection. He had like a box of 10 of them or something, and he was just flogging them off. It was just so
I can find
cheap.
that. I can find that bike box for about £40 in the UK. But yeah, wow.
Wow. Hello, good morning to Phil, Treasures for Trigger.
Hey,
Phil.
It's still your
Happy
birthday, Phil?
mate.
Was it his birthday yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah. Well,
Yesterday,
today
yeah.
for the UK boys, but yeah. He's
Yeah.
the
Happy
24th.
birthday, Phil.
Yeah, happy birthday. I'm just going to go through some comments here because I'm falling behind. Favorite movies.
I'm not walking back my statements, Pete. I'm just
clarify that on
providing
Wednesday
some
night.
clarification.
Everyone's saying hello to G-Force. We have Zazel in.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
maybe
Zazel.
Zazel said hello earlier. I don't know. I'm not sure. Early there for you, Zazel. I know you got to work today. Oh, I'm sorry. No win for the Panthers. Okay, Panthers have lost for the second year in a row.
Commiserations, Dino.
Yeah. You ever see any of the team toys out there in Australia?
The
team
A-team
toys?
toys, does he mean? The A-team toys.
A-team.
Oh, the 18. Wow.
Do we? Not.
Yeah,
They're a little bit rare.
Well, actually, the A-Team, the newer movie ones are rarer than the original, aren't they, Matt?
Yeah, they are the Jada
Really?
Toys ones.
Yeah. There's, we both got them. Got the vans and the figures.
They're not like that when they are found in the wild. Like a loose one is in really poor condition, like no accessories, well beat up. The odd one you'll find on card, and they want a lot of money for. So
Right. I would like the Galoob A-team van, but it's so hard to get in good condition.
the 3/4 ones.
Look, Dave's going to pull it out now. Look, isn't he?
No.
There we go.
Do you want me to? I can.
Yeah, no, I'd love to get one of those, but it's so difficult to find without the lights snapped off at the top and things like that.
Even my one's got a crack. I bought it years ago, and they sent it and had a crack in it. And
but I mean, even you see ones on eBay, broken ones, they go for 50-60 quid in the UK.
yeah, it's very fragile, the van.
Right.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it though.
Oh, there
I'm
you
being
go.
delicate
nice.
because on top of the van is a whole load of 18 badges. Maybe I'll go through those first. Look.
Oh,
Ah, yeah,
Oh, very
cool.
cool.
The Meat A, that was good.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
fool. Pity the fool.
Howling Mad.
Mad. God, he was funny.
Yeah, these are good.
Yeah.
Look at this one. Oh yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
they're good.
I think I picked these up at a show once. I don't know why I have a load of 18 badges. There we go. Look at that. What's he got? TR3.
What's TR? Oh, is that? That's a shampoo, is it?
Is that a shampoo or is that an oil? Hang
It
on.
can't be a shampoo. It doesn't
It's your
have
gin and tonic, isn't it?
Yeah, hang on. Is it this?
Yeah, it's engine oil.
Is it this? My hash engine Italian organic gin.
That's so cool. Is it decent gin, Dave?
I honestly don't know. I haven't opened that one yet.
Okay.
But I may open it.
This is,
I just like the tin. But here you go. There we go. There's the 18 van.
Oh dear me, it's so good.
So
So did you get that unbroken, Dave, or did you have to replace like any of the spotlights on the top or anything like that?
So the spotlights weren't broken off, but 2 of them were missing the lights inside.
Right.
So I managed to find on eBay a broken roof, which had 2 lights, and I managed to extract the innards and transport them onto this one.
Oh, well done. Yeah, it looks great. I do love it.
So yeah, it's a cool van, that one. It's cool toy. That.
And all the seats
Really
intact
very cool
inside. I'm
toy.
sure they are because you see them a lot of the time with the seats snapped out as well.
Yeah,
it
look
looks
at that.
great.
And they look good when you put them all in there.
Yeah.
Sometimes, Dave, I love and hate you simultaneously.
It's really love.
Love peppered with hate.
Well, it's nice to have seen you all. I'm off now.
Yeah, my work is done.
Yeah.
That's right. My work is done here. Andrew, have you finished, Lukey, or are you going?
Yeah, no, I'm done. I'm good. Yeah, I'm done.
It was a fascinating. There obviously was. Jeff must remember some controversy around that with the Toy Biz and Kenner.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
I imagine
and they are great toys, but it is unusual to see 2 different companies release toys with such similar molds. You know.
Correct. Yeah. Andrew.
Yes.
Yourself. What would you like to show us anything today?
Yes. Well, I've been, as you know, on a Joe fetish.
It might
And,
be Jace.
and so I had to run off and buy this. I got it off eBay in England because I just can't sort of find sort of these things out here in Australia. And that's so I'll just go get this monster.
While you do that, I'm going to say hello to Connor. I'm not sure if you've sent
Hi, Connor.
hello everyone, Connor, but hello, Connor.
It's no Honda
Hey,
Civic.
Connor.
It is no Honda Civic, Connor. Very true.
Oh.
This thing is a beast. Anyway, I won't put the sides up, but I got. I'll have to get back to this one, but
Wow, what is that?
it's Rolling Thunder.
Wowzers.
So I've never seen one out in Australia myself. Obviously, there would be people who would have one, I suppose. And I mean, those sides come up. I just couldn't muck around with it. And if I can do it, this because I've got to hold it and it's heavy. This slides open. And it's got this big gun here. This opens up. Anyway, and then 2. Oh, I'm gonna drop this and break it. Then 2 nuclear missiles come out.
It's a huge missile.
What?
So
Wow.
It's like, you call that a missile? This is a missile.
try to get it in view. Yeah. So sorry, it's just that it's that big. It's hard to handle.
Okay.
You're doing all right.
So they come out. So I just did a video, like a bit of a fun video, called Cobra's Big Mistake, which will you'll see soon. And yeah, so but it's got a lot of bits. I had to get the hubcaps. It didn't come with the hubcaps, so I had to get them separately from America and add it to them. And but these, I just never seen one out here in Australia, and
Huge.
and it's huge, and it was cheaper to get. It just came up on in because I look under eBay UK, and a lot of good stuff actually sort of just came up with the G.I. Joe line, and Action Force, of course. So I don't mind getting the Action Force stuff in the vehicles because it's the same molds.
Mm-hmm.
They're the same stuff. I mean, this one isn't. This is a G.I. Joe one, but yeah, it's got a lot of parts to it. It's got all the missiles. and everything like that. So yeah, I was really happy with that to get that. It's a massive toy.
It looks
Massive
awesome.
piece.
So are you a big Joe collector then, Andrew?
Well, I have been
Not like that.
in the last sort of year or so. I mean, as you know, I picked that thing up, and if you can see it,
Let me make it big. Well, that's called the flag. Yeah.
yeah, it's called the flag. So,
Oh wow, look at that.
Yeah.
so
okay.
I made a
cabinet.
I made a cabinet for it, and for the flag, and underneath them down there, it's all the vehicles and things like that. So underneath, and you know, and so I've been chasing that. I find it fun because with the Joy Joe stuff, there's a lot of accessories and a lot of parts. And I was lucky that I was telling Matt how that Usual Mike had a book, and he showed it, and they go, "I want that book," and it was so expensive to try and get it out. And Matt looked it up, and he goes, "Hey, there's one on Australian eBay, really cheap," and that was this one, the Ultimate Guide, and it's really good. It's got all the figures and their accessories and the vehicles and everything.
Wow.
And
I
so
do love a good guidebook as well.
yeah, good guidebook, especially for the Joe stuff, because they've got so many accessories,
Yeah.
you know, and things with the with the playset. So I actually just tracked that one down at a shop at Penrith. There's a collectible store there, and he's got a heap of JoJo stuff in parts. So I sat there for like a day, and
is everyone finding Andrew blurry or a bit?
Yeah, he's very pixely.
Yeah.
They call me Pixel Andrew.
Pixelated Andrew.
Yeah. So I picked up that one, the bunker, and had his missile with it. So
Oh, don't tell me stuff like that, Jace. Oh dear.
yeah, so that's the sort of thing I've been chasing at the moment. Just little bits and pieces of accessories and things like that to make up the sets.
You'll be there forever, Andrew.
That book's great, Andy. That I've got to admit. I mean, I know you can find out everything on the online, but I love a physical book, something you can sit with and go through.
Yeah, well, there's
just scour the internet.
You got yojo.com, but the problem is with that is you go to it, you click onto it, and it's got a lot of push ads on it, and it messes with messes with the computer a bit. You know, when the speed of things coming up, and especially if you go to a shop and you know you can't sort of sit there with the computer and I'd be there forever. And with a book, I can quickly relate to it and go, "Oh, that's the weapon to that. No, that's the bit to that."
Yeah, you've just reminded me. I picked up a guidebook actually. I forgot to mention it earlier, but yeah, no, it's cool. It's really good.
Yeah,
it's funny, isn't it? How like even today with the internet and everything, I find at least the quality of reference material for vintage toys is still pretty poor. It's hard. Sometimes it's pretty hard to find accessories that you need for a figure. It's not documented somewhere, and you do have to go to books.
Yeah.
And
I don't think it's geared up for us guys with stuff like that, is it? If you want to see what Dua Lipa's doing this week, you can find out easily. Something. But
yeah. But I wish there was a much better reference site online. But thankfully, we've got a lot of great books to fall back on.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. It's hard to get those books now. It really is. I used to like Scotty there. I used to get the Toe Martin magazine, and but I don't think he actually prints that anymore. I think it's all stopped. I used to love getting that magazine, and because they'd have a whole, even like the G.I. Joe, he'd have the whole like catalog there in like a special edition. And he do like the whole lines and put them in. It was great reference books. And
so that book, Andrew, you've got there. Would you class that as like the sort of the definitive reference guide for G.I. Joe, or are there other books also?
Well, that's the first sort of. There is another book, but it's an older one. It's in like black and white pictures, and it doesn't seem to. It didn't highlight the vehicles, which is important, and because of the vehicles, like that thing, it's got 30 different missiles and things on it. And all the missiles on these JoJos, they are all different. They're not a standard. Each set is a different missile. It's incredible. So I've got trays here of missiles, all these missiles and everything, and they're all the different things, and you're forever going. And I come home and after going to that collector's store and going, I've got all these missiles. I know that's that. And then I go home, no, it's not. None of them fit. I look up in the book and there's the sets that I don't even have.
It's a certain year too. That book you've got, it's from 84, is it, to 82 to 90?
82 to 94. And when was it printed? When was it printed?
£100. Okay.
I'm just seeing what year it came out in this one. I just can't see what the year it was printed in.
There's a question from Adam, Andrew, too. Does it have the little buggy thing inside?
Yes, it does. It's complete.
Okay. Seatbelts as well. I think Adam mentioned it.
Yeah, everything's complete in it, actually. In the cockpit, the seatbelts are in there. The little seats are on the side. They've got all the seatbelts, all the rockets. I was really happy because to get one from America, it was double the price just because of the shipping. Yeah. England is a lot seems to be a lot better in the shipping price compared to America for us.
Yeah,
and
I
was happy to grab that one. And
the Palomo book. Yes. Now that reminds me. It's Chad. I don't know if you've seen that YouTube channel. I guess his name is Chad. He was interviewing Mark Palomo.
He was through the week. Yes.
Yeah, that was awesome. And I mean, I didn't realize this, but it sounds like this Mark Palomo has got pretty much almost every vintage line. I mean, it's been his life to just collect all this stuff and document it.
Wow.
Incredible.
And so I think he said he was going to actually talking about reference stuff on the internet. He sort of hinted that he was actually going to be releasing a website, starting with a few vintage lines and then scaling that out to, I guess, pretty much most of his collection. So that would be awesome if that's the case.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry. Who was that?
No,
Luke?
just apologising for jumping up and coming back. Sorry.
It was a good arse shot. Yeah. It's like, I went on there. Our time, I think that was 11 a.m. and I caught the very end. I think there was almost 200 people watching that live stream. It was incredible. I thought, I didn't realize at the time. Obviously, I knew he was related to G.I. Joe, but I didn't understand at the time who he was or the significance of having him on. So, thanks for clearing all that up, guys. No idea. I think is that it? Is that it, Andrew, for you? That's
it. I think at the moment.
Andrew,
I bought more sort of modern stuff. There's always dinosaurs, Mattel dinosaurs to get, and
all the time.
Motu stuff. So like, I mean, with the Motu stuff, obviously they released the Eternia, and Matt and myself were crying over all the videos of them, the unboxing videos.
Oh no, yeah. So they didn't ship, or we weren't even able to buy it, right, in Australia.
I don't think we were able to ship it down here, were we, Matt?
Oh, is it the Eternia?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. Like I thought at the time we could.
But when we looked on the site just recently, it said no shipping.
No, I think that's just because it's not available. I think at the time we were working out that it would be $550 US, and they didn't have the pricing clear. Yeah, so we guessed there might be another couple of hundred on to that, and we were all guessing that was like about 1,300 Australian to get it down here.
Yeah,
but I thought
double now.
It's gone now. It's double now.
Yeah, so. I mean, you can get one, but yeah, you're paying. I think probably to get one down here to Australia, we're looking at like 3,000.
Wow.
Yeah, it's off the rocker at the moment. That bloody Eternia.
What's a vintage one go for these days?
Probably less.
Same sort of price.
Look, probably about $5. I think loose. If I wanted to get one out to Australia, about $5,000.
Complete.
In a box, you're looking at maybe 7 to 8. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just it's still a hard one to get out here.
Fragile though, isn't it? It's fragile as hell.
Yeah.
So well, I was going to say, yeah, it's just so fragile. Like
Yeah.
like there's someone gave me a contact for the US, and I thought of contacting him, and I just thought, yeah, too much money. I can't justify it, and that whole shipping process, you just may end up with something snapped, and so I just let it pass. It's the way it goes. Hey, did we want to talk about? Sorry, did we want to talk about Mask? Like we kind of mentioned.
Well, did you have pickups, Matt?
Yeah, no, it was only because we were on the subject, and it made me. I remembered that we were talking about Mark Bellomo, and I picked up this week.
Oh, okay.
Which is
wait a sec. Let's make you big.
Which is a Mark Bellomo Transformers guide.
Oh,
it's usually around sort of 100, 120 quid. I managed to pick it up for 30 on eBay.
that's a bargain.
And
I don't know how you do it, Luke. How do you get this for that this stuff?
It's the limited edition with the holograms. So if you tilt it,
oh yeah,
look at that
Transforms it.
Yeah. So and it's obviously. I mean, I haven't really looked at it properly yet, but obviously it just goes through all the different.
And it's got the accessories there. Shows accessories.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
And that's Mark Bellomo, which is. I just thought I'll grab it quickly.
That looks great.
Is that like what years is that to, Luke? What
it
G1?
Is yeah, it's G1. It'll probably tell me. I have to say I haven't really looked at it properly yet. 'Cause I only just got it, but
okay,
it will probably tell me. So from what is it? No, that's just telling me what's on the front. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so 84 up to 90, 84 to 90.
84 to 90. Okay, I wonder if he must have the whole.
Yeah,
a lot of those as well.
It seemed to me that he was the kind of character that would collect and complete, because I think his purpose is to basically just document them all. And
okay,
yeah,
it's a good goal to have. Well, mine, like my pickup, and it's just been a bit excidified. It's the Snake Mountain, the Origin Snake Mountain. So I've set that up because I was starting to do a little bit of close-ups with work. But that's been a big pickup. Like I think at the time I was watching Goji's video yesterday, and he found one half price in Walmart or Target for $40 US, and I just went, oh, because in that Australia is like 70 Australian, and I had to get that for it was way above that I wanted to pay really. So it's at 260 or something, and it's just, but there's none out here to buy. And I just found an online seller who had a few left in stock, and I had to buy it. I just don't think it's going to make it out to retail in Australia. Like Grey Skull did eventually make it out here, but I don't think Snake Mountain will make it to retail. If it does, I've overspent my money, but it is what it is. The other project I've been working on is actually, like, you guys have heard of the Lone Ranger line. I think Mike did a video.
Yeah, I saw that from you.
So, like, and we've been chatting because he found that the Western play set online. So I thought I said, oh, where'd you see that? So he sent me the file. So we went off to a printing company, and I just so I've printed off, and I've got some backing board. So I'm just going to I'm going to have to make myself big. Wait a sec. I've only got one set of hands here. Where do I do that? That's a big shot, isn't it? All right. So this is the Western town. I haven't cut anything out yet.
Oh, wow.
That'll be the Western town. There's 2 sheets of that on A2 paper. So it's close to the scale of 3 3/4, but that's the detail of it. And it's come up.
Usual Mike's just here. Usual Mike has just arrived.
Oh, he's just arrived. There you go, Mike.
Oh, look at that, yeah.
His ear must have been burning.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
So, I bought the backing board. I think if you go to Mike, he advised me. I think he printed an A3, or was it A2? Oh, I'm confused now. And so then he's told me to go for next size up. So I've printed that off. I'm working on that at the moment. So
nice.
I haven't. Yeah, it hasn't been a lot about the toys at the moment, and just about also some Do you guys remember a show from the 70s called Valley of the Dinosaurs? It was a animated show. So that was about the it's very similar to Land of the Lost. And this Butler family went back in time and only did 16 episodes. But it's funny, these are the Australian comics. So Colton Comics released 11 issues back in the day in the 70s. And the Australian comic, they're called Murray Publishing, grabbed them and did 5 issues and kind of just amalgamated a lot of those 11 issues into these 5 issues. So they're quite hard to find. Like I've managed to pick up 3 of the 5 Australian issues of these comics. I just love Valley of the Dinosaurs. So that's just something
cool.
I'm just reminisce about. So
Matt, for that playset print, where did you get the original images from?
Mike. Well, I asked Mike that, and I got them from Mike, and I asked Mike where he got them from, and he just kind of said there was a random site or he found them on a random site. Mike, maybe you can confirm in the chat for us. That'd be cool. But I don't know if he'd remember now. It's been going on for a few weeks. We've been back and forth, and I think he's built his. This match showing off, yes.
So how many figures are there in that Lone Ranger line? I don't think it's too big, is it?
No, there's let me just grab one of them here. There's 1, 2, 3, 5 figures and 3 horses.
Yeah.
So there's one on card. I'm going to knock them all down. I can just. Okay, cool. So that's the Lone Ranger himself.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Let's make that big. So that's Gabriel, and that's the Lone Ranger himself on card. So he just came with 2 little pistols.
Looks in fantastic condition.
Yeah,
it is pretty good condition. It's actually unpunched as well. I've had this for many, many years. So we had these as kids. We had Buffalo Bill, or Wild Bill, and then we had Tonto and Lone Ranger, and we had 2 of the horses. But I think we got it mixed up. Like we just got them as Christmas presents. I had Silver. And one of my brothers, instead of having Scout for Tonto, he had Butch Cavendish's horse. But yeah, we love these figures, and that's it. That's a very simple line. But I think they're quite affordable. Like if you found them loose online, and you can see them sometimes pop up in your searches. Sometimes, like you do toy fairs, a lot of toy fairs, you guys, and you can see them in the background. They go, "Oh, Lone Ranger figure."
I did actually see 3-carded Lone Ranger figures this morning at Sandown.
Okay, there you go.
I didn't ask how much they were because it's from a dealer where he's selling his collection and it's quite high price normally. But I might have to have a look. Are the horses hard to find?
Yes, they are complete because they got little they got like reins. They got like let me just make myself big again. Sorry, I'll kind of. So you can see they got reins and they got like stirrups. So they got, and they're all like detachable. So they're quite. You can find, say,
are they, Matt?
Sorry, what was that, Andrew?
Probably easily broken too. The reins and things like that, are they? Are they a rubber or a plastic?
Yeah, it's a rubber, like
it's a rubber. Yeah,
flexible plastic. Rubber.
Yeah.
So they do fall off easy. Like you can see, I think is it the stirrups where your feet go in?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
They fall off on a regular basis, so they you can get them on card. Like I think you could buy, say, Butch Cavendish with his horse in a pack. You could buy like the Tonto and Lone Ranger with their respective horses as well. There was packs like that, or you could just buy them all individually. So I think that was, when was that movie released? 80, 81, if I remember rightly. Legend of the Lone Ranger.
And then they have the playset, and then it comes with the one playset. I assume that
was the cardboard playset. Yeah. They spent up big on it.
So it was originally a cardboard playset.
Yes, originally a cardboard playset. Yeah, they like that. And I think at the same time, Gabriel did figures for Zorro as well. There was Adventures of Zorro. They did that as well. And once again, a very small toy line. 3-4 figures with a couple of horses. So yeah, that's it. That's it for me.
it was all about horses back in the day, wasn't it? Whereas I believe our next subject is going to be all about vehicles.
That's right.
I got.
That was our first segue.
picked up this random horse, and I cannot place this horse. So this does not match. It's in the style of the Lone Ranger, the horses, like the same, like around the face and like the way the horse has been, like the same articulation, everything. But I cannot identify this horse.
It's got no markings on it.
No, so it's got no defining, like, just made in. I can't even read it down here. So it's 1980, and it kind of doesn't even match the Zorro. I don't even think it matches the Zorro line as well. And then I thought it might be similar to the Butch and Sundance, the early years from Mattel's line. So I'm just, because it's got no company, and so I'm a little bit stuck on this horse. I know it's definitely not Lone Ranger. Anyway, it's a research matter I've tried to get myself into, trying to find this.
Reverse image search.
Yeah, I think Mike's just put it in the chat. Google Lens it. Yeah, that might do it.
Yeah, have you tried that, Matt?
No, I have not.
It works well. Even I do that. Hey, Shabs, there you go.
G'day, Shabby.
Hey, Shabby.
Oh, I have an update for Shabby on a particular figure. So when I did my Kempton video, Shabby spotted a figure that I didn't even realize I was videoing. So it was just kind of went by. And Shabby went, that was from my childhood. Oh my God. And all his memories come back for him. So he posted in the group asking, what is this figure? Because he couldn't remember what it was. And somebody said it was Mantech. And then somebody else said, no, it's like a knockoff of Mantech, Exchangers, I believe it's called. Okay. So Shabby, I went back today because I was at Sandown. I went back to the same dealer and they had the figure there. And I had a close look at it. And I'll tell you now, I was going to buy it for you, but it was £120.
Ooh. Oh, dear me.
So those figures, Shabby, complete, turned out to be quite expensive and quite hard to get.
Wow.
And I thought it was just a knockoff, and I could pick it up for like 20 quid or something,
knockoffs. Some knockoffs are super expensive and tricky to track down.
And they would have been a couple of dollars in the day. It's
Probably,
incredible.
Yeah.
What are they called, Dave?
Exchanges.
I think they're called Exchangers. Is that right? Something like that.
I've never heard of them. That's incredible.
I've never heard of them. What the France indeed, Shabby.
Yeah.
It's not Farlap. No. and typical Pete comment. It's a black horse. Thanks, Pete.
The heart doesn't come out of it, does it?
It's not from Lord of the Rings.
No, it's got 1980. It's got 1980 written on it. So I will Google Lenser. That's a good idea. I'm not used to the whole technology thing. Sorry. Anyway, did you want to talk about Mask at all, Mr. Luke?
We can do. I mean,
yes.
Yeah. I mean, whether anyone's interested. Yeah. I mean, look. At the moment, obviously, we know nothing's set in stone, but everything at the moment that I see and hear, all roads seem to lead to it. It's coming. The thing is, what I'm back and forth with is when you think back in the day. I mean, I loved Mask then, I love Mask now, but when you actually think about it, it wasn't a hugely popular toy line back in the day. When it was released in '85, you think about what it was up against. It was up against. I know Star Wars was just sort of finishing then, but it was still Star Wars still hung around for a long time after the '85. But then of course you had Thundercats, Transformers were still going, He-Man was still going, G.I. Joe was still going. All these massive toy lines that Mask was up against. Mask only lasted like 3 years. The cartoon lasted 2 years, so. You look at it and you think, well, there was so many powerhouse toy lines. Mask never really had a chance, But for me, it was amazing toy, and I think there's still plenty of people out there that love it. And when you think now to what has been re-released, Motu, Ghostbusters, Turtles, G.I. Joe, Transformers, all being re-released, there's one glaring absentee for me, and I keep seeing things and hearing things. You look at Ramen Toys. Last year, Ramen Toys got a cease and desist from Hasbro from making or revamping Mask toys, and they were told they had to change the name. If they wanted to keep making Mask toys, they had to change the name, so they changed it from Mask to Machina, which I think is another language for Mask. And they had to change the boxes dramatically, their packaging, because their packaging resembled Mask massively, and the images, and they had to change the images hugely so it resembled Mask boxes a lot less. So there's that one. So you think to yourself, well, why are Hasbro doing that if they have no interest in this line anymore? You know. So that's one. Then you look at San Diego Comic-Con at the back end of last year, and they have this big vault, or an area where it's the vault, and people go in, and there's this huge diorama of Masks set up with Boulder Hill and all these vehicles, and why are they doing that? You know, what if they're not thinking about this line, why are they doing that? I've had a couple of conversations with people that are pretty, quite in the know with certain toy companies, and then only a few weeks back, I saw a screenshot online that Hasbro had registered to renew the Mask trademark officially. Now, whether that's an official image or not, I don't know. But everything I'm seeing and hearing is it's pointing towards it. But until I've got something concrete, there's a tiny little voice inside me saying, "Don't get excited.
No.
Do not get excited." But look, I mean, I just, in my head, I think it has to come. It's got to. It's the most obvious one left, in my opinion, to do. But it's whether they think it'll sell, it'll make money. I mean, I personally think it would, but it's then price point. If it was to come back, what are they going to just do a straight up revamp of the original vintage toys, or are they going to update them? Personally, I'd like to see just a straight up re-release. That might be an unpopular opinion. But if they revamp that, I'm okay if it comes and they revamp it. But one massive factor for me is it has to stay the same scale. So it can, if they revamp them, then it can integrate with the vintage line as well. But yeah, and it's the price point. If they come back, what are they going to price them at? I dread to think. You look at vehicles like Rhino. What is the price point of that going to be? But I could also see in the future, I could also see a Boulder Hill HasLab as well. I could see that. But again, I'm trying not to get excited, but everything points to it. It's going to happen. But I don't know.
It's hard to tell. Right? I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that. Yeah, I'm a bit like that.
I do think people are slightly jumping to conclusions. I mean, companies register trademarks all the time. It doesn't mean that they're gonna. I think I saw a post where it said, "Oh, they've registered trademark. There's going to be a new cartoon. There's going to be a new toy line." And like that's the massive leap. But there may be, there's other, and there's certainly pointers to it. But I'm not convinced. And the reason I'm not convinced is because if you look at the lines that Hasbro has re-released, they've done a pretty bad job of it, really. So if you look at Indie, you look at Real Ghostbusters, they've half-heartedly done that, right? I mean, I think for Mask, it is all about the vehicles, and
it is. Oh, absolutely.
They did the Ecto one, so it is possible, but the Mask vehicles are a lot more complicated, right, than Ecto one.
Yeah.
So if they did, I think you'd see a few figures and maybe a couple of key vehicles, but I don't think it would go. I just don't think Hasbro. The reason I hesitate is because Hasbro's basically in the crap right now as a company. It's trying to save money, and I just don't believe they got a huge amount of money they can just invest in a Mask line again.
Yeah, I'm very much with you, Dave. Believe it when I see it, sort of thing.
It's hopefully they'll bring something out, but I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. I mean, I know everybody's excited about it, but I just can't.
Well, I'm trying not to be.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a little voice inside me saying, "Don't get excited." But you just think, why? But what? My question then is, but what's then the purpose? What's the purpose of doing this vault with a big Mask setup? What's the purpose of stopping people from making it? And
but this is where I think people read what they want to read, because that wasn't just a Mask display. I think it was like part of 100 years history of Hasbro.
Yeah. It was a Hasbro vault or something like that. They call it.
Yeah, exactly.
The vault,
a celebration of some of their great properties in the past.
Yeah. So you could have probably taken a photo of another display next door to it and gone, "Hey, look, they're going to re-release that." So it's I don't know.
I totally get that.
So what? I think it's interesting. What if they did actually re-release everything as it was? Do you think that would spoil your enjoyment of the vintage line?
No, I'd just buy it all.
Would it stop you chasing the vintage items that you don't have?
Say that again, Scott.
If they re-released everything,
Yeah.
or if they re-released items, exact replicas, obviously updated boxes and updated materials and stuff like that, but to the extent that they could reproduce it, and they reproduced items that you were missing from your vintage collection, would that stop your pursuit of vintage versions of those items?
I don't think so. I think that even if they were to do, let's just say it was released, I don't think, like what Dave said, I don't think they would do the whole thing. Because you had things like Euro 2 packs, figures that were only released, in France or where, and they were crazy. I don't think they would go to those lengths of doing those. I'm not even sure if they were to do it, they would go to the lengths of the split seconds, vehicles and things like that, because they're just not particularly popular anyway. I think they would probably, again, if they were to do it, focus on probably season 1 and 2 vehicles. And I mean, I'd love to see another Boulder Hill, but I'm trying not to get excited. And I agree with Dave. I very much believe it when I see it. And there's nothing just because they're doing this, that, and the other. I guess, that doesn't really mean anything. But of course, then there's another little voice inside me going, "Well,
and they'd have to still have the original molds. Then I can't believe, because if they have to make new molds up, they won't make them the same. They'd change them because unless you've got those original molds."
Well, no, I don't believe in this day and age they can't sort that out. I don't believe it's completely dependent on having original molds. I just think that can be redone. The amount of technology at their fingertips with these companies, I don't see that being.
It's the expensive part, though, right? Isn't it?
It's big. Yeah, my ex father-in-law, he was a mold maker, and incredible the amount of money. I mean, he used to make molds for yogurt cups. In fact, he was the one that, you remember the one that tipped half over and tipped the you sort of like your cereal into the yogurt. It was sort of like
chocolate buds, and you
he actually did that one. And what it was like $200,000 or $300,000 just for that mold. It was incredible amount of money. And in fact, with Hasbro, that's why they went from the the Millennium Falcon, the smaller one. Yeah. Because they were still using the original mold, and they cracked it in half. It actually cracked in half because they'd used it. And then they went to, so when they did redid the mold, they didn't make that original size again. They went to that big one. The big one. Yeah, that's right. So the molds are the most expensive part. I think that's why they do the crowdfunding and that in the first place, don't they?
It's just one of them. I'm trying to convince myself, it worked. But I mean, look, I'm really happy with my mask collection where I am with it. If it never happens, it never happens, and I'd be okay with that. But in my head, it's the only one left to do, And there's been plenty of. I mean, look, you talk about popularity. I don't believe Indiana Jones was particularly popular, was it? Back in the day. No, but no. And they've redone that, and now obviously I understand that coincided with a new film and stuff. So they probably thought we can be cute here, but. I mean, I think Connor's put it in the... Oh, no, Jonathan. I could see Hasbro doing 6-inch mask figures. Now, you see, in my head, they would be great. But making figures on their own, the focus of the line was the vehicles. So doing a figure, even a 6-inch figure, I'd probably buy it. But I would just think, well, I want a Thunderhawk for Matt Tracker to go in. And if it's 6-inch, then I want a big car, So, I'm not sure there'd be a lot of point just doing figures regardless of scale.
So I have a question for you, Luke. And looking at your screen, if you made Luke big...
Make Luke big, so I know where you're going, so that's why I'm laughing.
Yeah. So if you look behind you, Luke, you've already got most of the vehicles and their boxes and stuff, have you not?
I haven't. I'm miles away. No, there were. Me and Adam talk about this. There's 30 in total if you count all the vehicles, including the mini play sets. So like Pit Stop Catapult, the Collector, and what's the other one? Billboard Blast. There's 38, and I'm only on 25. So I'm still a good way away. And then, like I say, there's 2 packs for Euro figures. There's 2 packs for standard figures. There's so many, different things. So I'm several vehicles away from being complete. I mean, the thing is, there's vehicles I don't want, so I'm not going to try and complete the line, because there's some vehicles that I just don't find attractive at all, and I have no intention of buying. I'm pretty much where I want to be with it, but no, I'm certainly nowhere near.
So what would you?
completing it.
So just to understand, what would you buy? Would you buy vehicles that you've already got, or only vehicles that you don't have?
100%. But I'd buy vehicles that I've already got. I would buy a handful of vehicles that I don't already have that I still want. Vehicles like Wolf Beast is, that's a particularly expensive vehicle. I think it's a lovely vehicle, but quite expensive. What else is there? Razorback, I think it's a lovely vehicle when it's in car mode. I think it looks terrible in alternate mode. But yeah, there's still vehicles I want, but certainly not all of them. But yeah, I would just rebuy them, Dave. I don't think I could look at them on the shelf or, all minty new and just go, no, I've already got Thunderhawk. I'd just go, nah.
Where would they
no
go?
idea.
What was-
I'd make room. Something
Yeah.
would go. I'd just go, right, I'm clearing that complete shelf and they can go up there.
Let's
As
talk what?
as if collecting is rational. It's like, yeah, you just go with your heart, don't you?
Yeah, if it happened, I don't think, and I go on about price. I have a price in my head of what I feel they should be if they were re-released, and I have a price in my head of what I feel they probably would be if they were re-released. And I say to myself, if it was the higher point, I would just say no.
But how much?
But
do
I know
you
I
think,
wouldn't.
How much do you think they? So let's take I don't know, Rhino. Okay, Rhino is a fairly big, complicated vehicle.
Yeah.
So if they re-released it as it was in the original, how much do you think that should be priced at?
How much do I think it should be?
Yeah.
I think it should be. God, it's going to be expensive anyway. I think it probably should be around the 70 quid mark. Should be. I think it'd probably be in excess of 100 if they were to do it. But I mean, I gauge it like things like Condor. Condor was 5 quid back in the day. So in my head, if Condor was re-released, for me it shouldn't be any more than 35. But I think it would probably be heading towards 45 and 50, and it's tiny, But my head tells me it should be this, but we all know that it'll probably be higher.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking, like, so for all the real Ghostbusters and Indie, those are 2 lines I think of because they were pretty much copies of the original lines. Those figures were like £10, weren't they? The Indie figures, and to be honest, they're a bit. Yeah, I mean, they're okay.
Yeah,
They
well, I
look
mean,
like
I've no frame of reference there.
Yeah.
You've got the originals, haven't you?
Yeah, I
So
mean,
I have no
they're okay.
idea how good or bad
the
they are.
real Ghostbusters figures I think are better, and they were like what, £15-20 or something, weren't they?
Yeah,
I can't
15
remember.
quid, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 15 to
And,
17
I
quid.
can't remember how much Ecto 1 was for the re-release. That was.
Well, it was 50 quid when it was released. You can pick it up on eBay now, Dave. The brand new, the Ecto 1 for about 20.
Yeah.
The re-release.
Yeah. Yeah. So 50 for the Ecto 1. So yeah, you probably are around 100, 150 for a Rhino, I'd imagine.
I think it'd be somewhere between that. And the thing is, I say that, and if it did, and if it came out, and if it was that price, I'd buy it. I'd hate myself, but I'd buy it.
Why would you buy it though? You've already got one. Why would you buy it?
Because I'd want a spanking new one next to it. Why wouldn't I?
I'm interested here with Connor's point here because they start doing these new lines. Like I'll refer back to Motu, and they never finished off the line, and we're all going to have to go online to get. And even then, I don't think they're going to finish off the Origins line. People are crying out for them to complete at Mattel, and I think they've kind of just dropped the bundle a little bit, Mattel, on the Origins line, and people aren't going to get to be able to complete the line. Like, just say they kind of start off Mask and drop their bundle halfway through it because Hasbro, as we know, aren't financially going well.
Well, as long as they do season 1 and 2, they can drop it when they want.
Yeah.
I mean, Indie, they didn't do any play sets. They didn't do anything. They just did a few of the figures.
Just the figures, didn't they?
Yeah. A couple of new figures thrown in.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah,
they didn't touch the play sets, and which was a shame.
Can I ask? I'll ask. Can I bring Scotty into the conversation?
Yeah, please.
What if there was a toy line, Scott, that you would be? You're predominantly a vintage collector, and just those that 80s, 90s. Is there a line, you don't really go for anything modern, is there a line that you would go for? Like,
look, I think I've discussed this with you before. Like, Dino Riders would be the one for me. Where if I mean, who is Tycho now under Hasbro? I'm not too sure, but if Dino Riders were re-released with the same boxes and the same toys, I'd have a lot of trouble not picking those up, because that's the one line that I've got a couple, but I would love to have more, but it's just tricky to justify based on how expensive and tough they are to track down here in Australia in a nice, complete, pristine form, the way I would want it. So that would be the one for me as far as an exact re-release. But just going back to Mask for a minute, if I can, to me, there are far more niche toy lines that have been brought back. When you think about Silverhawks and Toxic Crusaders, like, they're one-wave lines that I got a lot of love for personally, but I don't think you could say that they were as successful as Mask, in their original run. And they've been brought back, but they've been brought back in a different way, in the more Super 7 style. So, if Hasbro weren't going to do it, and they also weren't going to do the cease and desist thing for more, for smaller or independent toy companies to have a real crack at it, Luke, would you be picking those up in more of a deluxe format, larger scale, articulated with extra accessories and pack-ins and Easter eggs that reference the animated series? Like, would that appeal to you as a Mask collector, or only if it was done by Hasbro in a more traditional way?
I say I wouldn't. I mean, I'm tempted to go, no, I won't be. But if it was sat in front of me on the shelf, I think I'd buy it. It's one of those. There's a Matt Tracker figure, a crossover with G.I. Joe, and it's really expensive now and quite hard to find. But if one of those cropped up, I'd buy it. I think, like Jonathan Redmond said in the comments earlier, what about a 6-inch? And I go, oh no, there's no point doing 6-inch Mask figures. The vehicles are the focus. If it was sat in front of me, I'd buy it. I'm convinced I would. Sometimes I think if you put a steaming turd in front of me and put a Mask badge on it, I'd probably buy it. I don't know.
Matt Tracker's poo. Would you buy that?
I sit here and say, oh no, I don't want that. If it was a Mask line, I'd probably buy it. I mean, the Ramen Toys ones, they're expensive and they're different scale. They look amazing. I was tempted by the Shark, because obviously we never got the Shark back in the day. But I just keep thinking, just wait. They'll come. Just wait. But I mean, look, I keep referring back to now what Dave said, and I'm absolutely the same as him. I will believe it when I see it, but it's really hard to ignore this little voice inside me going, it might. Look, they're showing this and they're showing that. And,
is anyone else wondering what Matt Tracker's poo would actually transform into?
Whatever he ate for dinner the night before, I suppose.
I thought that was going to be a PGM comment you were reading for me. That'd be something PGM would write, actually. I thought I was flicking that up as you were saying it, going, "Oh, this is Pete," because I can't see it properly. I'm like, "Oh, that's what PGM's saying."
I might have stolen Pete's thunder there, but yeah, I mean, it would be interesting. I think an independent toy company could, as Ramen Toys were doing, could do something super cool with Mask, but it would have to have a vehicle focus, a vehicle with a couple of figures packed in, because, I don't know Mask inside and out by any stretch. I don't remember it from back in the day. Like, I have memories of Masters of the Universe and Transformers. I don't have memories of Mask, but, you think about the Rhino and the Thunderhawk. I mean, these are iconic vehicles. Like, when I think of Mask, that's what I think of. I think of the Slingshot and the Switchblade and these vehicles.
The Slingshot. I'm glad you said the Slingshot, Scott.
Before I think of the figures.
Yeah, I love the Slingshot. Yeah, Adam picked that up today, and we've been debating his lack of love for Slingshot today.
I love it.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. Adam, he got it for a great price. But I hope Adam don't mind me saying this. He got it for a great price today. But he's struggling to love it the way I do. I love Slingshot. I think it's great.
And a fantastic transformation too. Like, I remember that from one of your top 5 videos.
Yeah, it's a great video. But when it's in camper van mode, just that yellow, orange, and red flashes down the side. It's just so 80s. I think it's great. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, the vehicles are the star of the show for sure. So
absolutely. I mean,
like they would have to be put first, I think, for it to be successful. Not like the G.I. Joe classified style of 6-inch figures with an occasional, like massively scaled crowd-funded vehicle. You know what I mean? It would have to be vehicles first.
When you mention the line, nobody thinks of a figure first, do they? They think of a Thunderhawk, of a Switchblade, of a Rhino. You never think of a figure. So yeah.
What about you, Dave? I know you're very similar to Scotty in your collecting style there. What are you going
What? Bland? Bland? Wow. I feel I need to grab Slingshot, but bland.
Get off him.
Unfriend Adam Berry.
If it wasn't Adam, he'd be in trouble. He'd be booted.
Yeah, that's right. Kick him off.
Yeah, Dave, guy paid me to take it.
Aren't you? Like what is there a toy line that you'd like bought back? And you would purchase and make room for in your collection, not maybe up in the loft.
I don't know. Because I don't really
just
buy.
Say no, Dave.
I just buy. I like buying vintage stuff, and I kind of
nothing's going to tempt you.
I don't know. If see, the thing is, right, with Mask, for example, at the show today was loads of Mask.
Yeah,
you can go and buy it.
It's easy to access,
and it probably would be cheaper than buying it from Hasbro if they remade it.
Yeah, quite possibly. That's
a good point. In the way, in the success of a re-release or a reproduction is like how the pricing stacks up to the vintage. I think it's the odds of success are stacked in the manufacturer's favor if, like Dino Riders, the vintage figures are ridiculously expensive to buy in box and complete.
Yeah. So I honestly can't think of a line that I'd want to be brought back, because I think probably because I'm not in that market. I think that's the thing, right? I'm not really in that market. I do like it when they complement the vintage line. So I did pick up the indie figures that were new figures that hadn't been previously released. So yeah, I picked those up and they complement the vintage. Same with some of the Star Wars. I pick up some of the customs and add that to the vintage line. But yeah, for me, I'm not in that market, so it's a really difficult question to answer. I mean, I love Rambo figures, but would I want to see those re-released? No, because I wouldn't buy them. I'm sure others would love to see them re-released, and they would buy them. But personally, I'm not in that market.
Did you pick up any of the new Indiana Jones figures when they came out, Dave?
Yeah, I picked up the ones that weren't in the original.
That weren't in the original line. Yeah. You're a bit similar to me in that regard. Like when Superpowers, McFarlane's doing that. I'm not buying them all. Just the characters that they didn't do in the first place because they fit right in with the vintage.
Yeah. And for Mark, I don't know if there are characters in the cartoon that they didn't actually, or vehicles that were in the cartoon that didn't actually appear in the original line. I'm not sure, but if there were, then maybe that would be cool to see. Like, there is, right, the shark. The shark.
Yeah, we never got the shark. Yeah, we never got that.
So it would actually be cool to have an official shark that would come out.
Absolutely.
I would probably buy that.
Right.
Because because that does have also the sort of similarity to the Lotus, right, from James Bond.
Of course, so which route? I mean, I don't actually think it is the real reason, but that was one of the main rumours why it was never made back then. Yeah.
So actually, that is a masked vehicle that I would buy if Hasbro brought that out.
Yeah. Fair play, Dave.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, like I think if they brought out a new Indiana Jones play set, like Hasbro, with that line, you would have picked that up too. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, definitely.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm just Andrew, we'll have a quick one with you as well. What would you pick up? Like if there's a
I think I'd if they did. I mean, they're never going to do it, but I mean, something like the Dave, you like this one, the Micronauts.
Oh yeah.
Because I grew up with that was one of the earliest ones to sort of get that in Big Jim. But I wouldn't mind if they did that because in a newer version I could actually play with it because these early ones they're so fragile. and so I mean, I just love the Micronauts. They were sort of my first sort of 3 3/4 sort of figures that I played with back in the 70s. And they did so many play sets and things like that. Other things I wouldn't mind them doing is, I mean, like the $6 Million Man and those sort of IPs, but if they shrunk it down, sort of like if it was too expensive to do a big doll and play sets, shrink it down to a sort of a 6-inch plastic one. That at least you could fit in with the other sort of scales.
Yeah, that would be cool. If it was like even if a 3 3/4 version of that of the $6 million line would be awesome.
Yeah, that sort of thing. If they got those sort of, I mean, like Big Jim, Evil Knievel, there's sort of those big doll ones in there because it'd be too expensive to do the big bands and play sets and that. Yeah. They shrunk them down to, sort of a 6-inch scale or a 3 3/4 scale. I mean, I know they did $6 Million Man and they re-released him in the, what was it? Reaction didn't they?
Yeah.
No, some unknown company did it, and they ran into some rights issues, and they got taken to court, and they had to stop making them. Yeah. So you can find them as a 3 3/4 $6 Million Man. I think in a red jumpsuit and then another coloured one, and yeah, they did get some out. And I think they're quite hard to find.
Oh, well, that's the crutch of it all too. It's like Motu when they said, "Oh, we got this Origins line coming out," and I went, "Oh, that's great," because I only had the original castle and things like that, and I went, "Oh, good, I'll collect Motu because I'll flood the market with it," and it's harder to get than the original stuff. Yeah, and that's the problem. If they re-release it, they're not releasing it on bulk. They're not putting it in the toy stores. You're not finding it at Kmart or Big W or things like that. It's just you see people in the States getting it at conventions and these sort of online certain times that they can buy them, and that's the thing. If they're going to do a toy line, release it in bulk so you can go down the toy aisle and pick it off the shelf like you used to.
Yeah. Well, see, we mentioned before the show, I mentioned to you, Andrew, Buck Rogers. Mego Buck Rogers. Well,
Mego Buck Rogers.
Something I'd be into. But I think it'd be a bit more like Dave as well. I think if they did Buck Rogers, look, I think the plastic
Starfighter.
Like if they redid that Starfighter, I'd probably.
Yeah, that was lovely, and it's so fragile too. I mean, if we get it out here without. I mean, the plastic is so fragile on these Starfighters, and like these little tips here at the thing, I've got them sort of hanging on because they're in good condition. Now they've sort of split up the sides just for the age, so I don't sort of ram them on. But that plastic is so hollow and brittle. I mean, it would be nice if they sort of redid their sort of line of spaceships and that from different films would be good.
Yeah, true. And there'd probably be a few more figures that they could release from the latest part of the series as well that they could then you could buy and add into existing collections. So there you go, Dave. There's a new one you could probably look at. Buck Rogers.
Yeah, I have looked at that line. It's right on my street. That's the kind of line back from then, which was fairly limited in size, just a few figures. Right up my street. I love those kinds of lines.
Yeah,
I will let into a little secret, which is that one of the lines I've got into recently is Battlestar Galactica.
Oh yes. Were you looking at Steve's collection?
Yes, I was indeed. I may give you a hint.
Was that a yay or a?
It was more of a yay than a nay, that's for sure.
It's a brilliant little line, and I guess you probably know that there's I can't remember his name, and he's upscaled the Land Rover and the Viper.
Yeah, the Viper. Yeah, Steve did have the Viper, but I think he sold that on. Yeah.
And you can also buy from a custom, it's custom. I'm not going to pull it out now, but the Land Rover, is that what it was called? And it's a quite expensive piece, but he's actually upscaled it to fit the figures, because a lot of the
Nice,
vehicles
nice.
didn't fit the figures. So yeah, that's an excellent line too from Mattel. But you're not as easily influenced as Luke, are you? So
Oh no, I can be easily influenced. I mean, I'm always
Can you?
looking at new lines and yeah. No, don't get me wrong. I'm easily influenced.
Oh, there's now you see G-Force is talking good stuff.
Ah,
Clash the
Oh,
Titans.
Right,
yeah,
that's exciting.
Clash of Titans, interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but imagine how big the Kraken would be.
Can you
6-inch,
imagine?
figure scale.
6-inch figures.
Yeah, but if Hasbro re-released it, they would all be the same size.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Scales.
Yeah,
Lord
they would just be a
Malvalda.
6-inch Kraken.
You're welcome, Lord Malvalda.
I saw Phil refer to WWF LJN re-releases.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
it
yep.
did, yeah.
Which would be interesting, but obviously there's other companies in market like the major figures, that the big rubber guys. Have you seen those, Matt?
Yes, I have. But I mean, obviously, I'm not going to get them due to space. But there's some good stuff. I agree, Phil. Like I think the LJNs, a lot of them these days, the ones that you try and get, they all become sticky and
they age differently to other figures because of the rubber construction. But one thing that I would love
rubber.
and I would buy, because I can
Really?
talk about re-releases, but even lines
Yes,
that appeal to me, like I love Ghostbusters. I didn't even think to pick up the Ghostbusters re-releases because, like what Dave says, like I just prefer the hunt, the fun of hunting down the vintage examples. But one thing that I wouldn't be able to resist would be if Hasbro released, as they originally were supposed to be, the orange card Hasbro wrestlers, the final wave of Hasbros that never came to be, with Diesel and Jeff Jarrett and Mabel. I mean, if Hasbro put them out on orange cards, and not like the retros, but like they were going to be, I would definitely pick those up.
Yeah, sure. What's the Galaxy Rangers is something you're quite familiar with too, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah. Well, that's only
the Cowboys.
I started. I blame Robo Toys for that because I saw a Galaxy Ranger at Kempton last year, and then I've been on a bit of a hunt for those. It would be pretty cool to have some new Galaxy Rangers. But do you know what? A toy line, a modern toy line, I would buy if they ever did it, would be a 3. I'm not necessarily into the 6-inch figures. I mean, I wouldn't say no, but I think I would prefer 3 3/4. Would be James Bond. I would like to see James Bond through the ages. I like to see Sean Connery Bond and all the others, and the Roger Moore Bond. The modern day, and I would like to see the vehicles, the prominent vehicles, to go with them.
Yeah.
And I've never understood why there hasn't been. I mean, Mego did Moonraker back in the day.
Yep.
But there really hasn't been a true James Bond toy line, and to me, it's one of the biggest franchises out there, and I'm baffled as to why. I don't know if it's a licensing issue, but there's so much you can imagine. Have 3 3/4-inch Jaws and all that. Odd Job, all those guys. I mean, it would be awesome.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge Bond fan, but I'd agree with that.
6-inch Visionaries.
Yeah, Visionaries.
Anything with holograms. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. It kept saying I've filmed around Majestic Toys, Starbuck dolls.
But interesting to hear you say that though, Scott, about the orange card wrestlers, because you've always been very much like Dave, haven't you? That even lines you love, if they were re-released, you probably wouldn't bother. So it's interesting to hear you could probably be tempted by those, because personally I like the reissues because I quite like to put carded representations behind the loose vintage ones. Yeah, and I just think that looks nice to have that. But interesting to hear you say that though.
Oh, it's interesting how there's different ways to collect and no right or wrong way. But Dave just got me thinking, and also with Phil with the LJNs, when Dave was saying that the kinds of modern figures he likes are those that stand as companions to the vintage line, rather than like a reproduction of that vintage line. And he got me thinking about the figures that we saw in prototype form but never came to be, for those to come out. I think that's when my kind of collecting brain could be like, okay, cool. This is this stands in line with the vintage line, with my vintage collections.
So and those never hit the shelves then?
They
Sorry,
never
mate.
hit the shelves.
Oh,
No,
right, I get it now. Okay.
From what I understand, we've only copies of the cardback prototypes have come out, and head sculpts have come out, but I've never seen the actual figures in their full form how they were supposed to be, because they were scrapped quite early in the process.
Right.
But when Dave was talking about modern figures that fill gaps in a vintage collection, the other thing it made me think of is some of the vintage Playmates Ninja Turtles figures that we never got. You know, the Turtles line ran for a decade, but there's still omissions from that line, like a human version of Baxter Stockman, or some of the when Playmates did the movie stars figures, there were movie figures that we didn't get, like Shredder before he became Super Shredder in his movie form, but in a vintage Playmate style. Those sorts of things I could see myself picking up if they were done very much in an early 90s style with the original card back. That, you know, because again, like, we're not talking about a whole collection, we're talking about picking up a couple of figures, you know.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, totally. I didn't realize they're not actually been released. I'm not up on the wrestlers, so that's cool.
I just seen TJC's comment about the Battle of the Planet.
Yeah, Battle of the Planets.
Yeah,
G-Force would be happy with that too.
You know what? Because there are some old figures, aren't there? Some Popey Battle of the Planets or Gatchaman figures, and they are just super hard to find. So if there was a sort of re-release of those Popey figures, I would be all over them. Because Battle of the Planets for me was one of my favourite cartoons when I came home from school.
Yeah, we had it as well on the ABC. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember the ABC.
The whole intro sequence and everything. I was just like, I was hooked. So yeah, I would definitely have. Yeah, if they were, because I think they might be die cast as well. I can't remember if they're die cast or plastic. But yeah, I would definitely have the Battle of Planets in 3 3/4.
Yep. And
I mean, a nice big version of the Phoenix with the vehicles coming out.
Oh,
that'd be beautiful.
As a playset, yeah. Can you imagine? Gee.
Yeah.
Incredible. As Adam has produced TVCs. Okay, JoJo. Okay. See, I told you G-Force like that.
Yeah, I do love the figure that G-Force got. I can't remember who made it, but yeah, the figure he bought was amazing. It looks awesome.
I've just realised the time as well. I'm really sorry, guys. It's like way over the 2 hour mark. This is what happens when we start talking and just. I remember looking at the time. It's like, I've got like 15, 20 minutes. I'm fine. Like, you have
to play us overtime now, Matt.
Yeah.
It's Sunday for us as well, so we need
time and a half, double time. These guys are right. Well, we might have to start winding it up. I'm really sorry. Storm Collectibles said.
Storm Collectibles. Okay. Nice. Yeah, it's a cool figure that. Because it had the wings and everything. It looked awesome.
Yeah, I do remember him picking that up, because there was a you had to put an order in for that, didn't he? And it finally, like was it a Kickstarter or was it just a pre-order that eventually arrived? I think he was quite excited.
Hey, Scotty, what about if they did? What if they did Mighty Max but in a bigger scale?
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
If they did them in a 3 3/4 scale, I mean, you could. They'd be massive if they're in 6 inch and be like would you buy them if they brought a line out that were 3 3/4 at Mighty Max, exactly the same as the little ones, but in a bigger scale? Would you buy them?
I don't know. I don't think I would. I mean, I would love to see it. But it would just probably be one of those things that I just admired from afar, because I just love to collect the vintage line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be really cool to see, and I would hope that it would do well. But and the other thing is, if the figures are in a 3 3/4 inch scale, the play sets would be massive. And just like Mask with the vehicles, no one collects Mighty Max for the figures; it's the play sets. That's the hook. So
At least you wouldn't lose the accessories in that scale.
Very true. Very true.
when your eyesight starts going, then you might desire a 6 inch scale of.
Yeah, you won't. You don't need glasses. You move over to the bigger scale. I go, I don't need glasses.
There you go.
Yeah, true.
It's a good thought, Andrew. I like that.
Smart.
Yeah,
right, cool.
An interesting comment from Lord Mulvada as well. Yeah.
Wait, we're coming up. Here we go. And then we're doing it for one.
No,
Yeah.
Because Mighty Max is something that they could actually bring back. As I mean, the cartoon was a pretty crappy cartoon, wasn't it? Sort of thing. It wasn't very.
I'm gonna get very upset, but no, I'm just kidding.
I mean that the style of the animation that they did for it.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
I mean, it was pure. You know, it was early '90s animation. The animation wasn't very sophisticated, but I actually kind of think the cartoon series holds up okay to watch now. Like some of the cartoons we loved as a kid, you cannot sit through now. But some of them hold up. I think Mighty Max and like the real Ghostbusters, I think they do quite well nowadays, considering the age, you know.
Yeah, there are some episodes of Mask tough to get through now. As much as I love it, there's a few episodes where it focuses on Scott and T-Bog quite a lot on their relationship. You, as an adult, you look at them and some of the things they say to each other, and you go, "Geez, this is." You know, are they an item? Are these two going out? You know. Yeah, they're tough to watch, some of them, but I still love it. Yeah.
Going back to Lord Malvado. How do I say Malvado?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. The thing is, there's so many things that Hasbro has their fingers in. Right. There's so many pies, aren't there, that they have their fingers in, and they do have limits, right? They are a company at the end of the day, and they have budgets and they've got to make a profit. Well, as we know, they're failing at that, right? And I think that's part of the problem with all of this, is that because they're involved in so many different things, they really can't put the appropriate investment into one particular line, which is why I believe we see half-hearted attempts at these things. That's why we see only parts of Real Ghostbusters or parts of Indie, or we don't see the full Star Wars re-release, the retro line re-released or whatever. Because even though we say, oh, they're $1 billion company or whatever, they still don't have enough resources, people, money, time to put into all of these lines in parallel. And that's why I think it's really tough for Hasbro, especially now in the climate that they're in and the financial troubles that they're in, which is so as much as I'd love them to re-release all sorts of stuff, I just think we're going to see more of the likes of Real Ghostbusters and Indie in that approach.
It's a bit frustrating because they bought up so many other small companies, didn't they? And they got so many licenses, but I mean, and if you want to see that your favorite toy line come back, it's all up to Hasbro.
Because they've sort of failed in their because they rely on the films for the IP, don't they? And the cartoon and things like that. And so when these new modern films fail and they don't make any money, they can't sort of sell the action figures and the type of figures they're putting out, people don't want to buy. They sort of put out different characters that nobody really likes, and then they hang on the shelves, and then the stores don't buy any new releases and things like that.
Yeah, and those new lines where they may have flopped, that's cost Hasbro money. They've probably made a loss on that, which obviously impacts other areas that might be working on. So that, because I imagine internally, I bet the Marvel guys, the Star Wars guys, and all that, I bet they're all competing against each other for budgets and for the best designers and all the best people in the company. They're all battling each other because even though it's $1 billion company or whatever, I don't know what their value is nowadays, but it's a big number, and we all think, well, $1 billion, you can do whatever you like, but at the end of the day, they are a business and they have to pay salaries and you have to pay for all sorts of stuff. So it's hard. I think it is difficult for them right now to kind of turn the corner. And maybe the answer is for them to start narrowing down and focus on less lines. Maybe they should really focus on Star Wars and get that right. Maybe they should really focus on the Marvel stuff and get that right. But of course, unless Star Wars, the movies and the Disney series are also successful, it's hard for Hasbro to be successful as well.
Yeah. I think the thing is though, Dave, we like what you've just said there though. But what is getting it right? What is getting it right? Because the amount of people that buy it, the amount of fans out there, 50% might think they've got it right. The other 50 might think they've got it wrong. So you talk to some people about the retro collection now. Some people think it's amazing and think they've got it bang on. Talk to other people and go, oh, it's terrible. So what is getting it right? Can they get it right? Because you guarantee there'll be a large demographic that think they don't, whatever they do, and something they do. So we're talking as if I'm not saying you specifically, but we talk as if Hasbro can potentially make a product that everybody will go perfect.
Well,
they will they? So,
no, but there's never going to be a line that everybody likes, right? No, everybody in the world likes Star Wars, right? But they can make a line that can be successful, at least in that particular domain.
Yeah.
And well, would you say that Hasbro's being successful in the Star Wars domain right now? I don't know.
Well, no, because that's because of the films. They've got to bounce off the films. So if the last few films are done are flops and people go, "Oh, that's a load of crap," it reflects in the merchandising and people don't buy it. Yeah. So they and this is the thing. It's that when they who makes for the Disney's Wish film, they made all this merchandising. Apparently, they can't sell it at all, and the company, I don't think it's Hasbro. I think it's Mattel made it, and they're actually suing or trying to force Disney to buy all the merchandising back to sell through their Disney parks because they can't sell it, and things like that. So that's what they rely on is the cartoon, the movie to be a success to drive the toy line. And if like Star Wars, the films haven't been a success, and the types of figures they put out or the characters that they want to put on the pegs aren't the ones that the fans want, and they just sit there. People don't want them, and ones they do bring out, they're too expensive. I mean, for the vintage line Star Wars figure, they want like between $30 and $40 for them down here. For a 3/4 figure. It's just crazy. They sort of just cut their own nose off, really.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just going to... I can't see... everyone's saying hello to BOE, but I cannot see him in the comments. Has anyone else seen BOE say hello?
No.
Oh, hi, BOE. If you are out there, hello. Because there's people saying hello and I just can't see...
BOE is everywhere.
He's just... in the air.
He's everywhere and nowhere.
Like it. All right, we're gonna I'm very aware that it's well after 11 p.m. your time as well, guys. So we probably need to, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to wind it up. I know we're it's a great chat. Just listen to you guys talk is it's always awesome.
No, I really enjoyed it.
The chat is really they've all got involved in it as well. I don't think they understand what collectors want.
Yeah.
Stick to the good old days, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, that's what Gap said. You've got to listen to the fans as well.
Yeah, there's definitely there's obviously a mismatch, right? Because, it's either a mismatch or Hasbro has got terrible management and they have no idea how to run a company. They're wasting money or whatever it might be, but I suspect there's a mismatch, right, with the fans.
They just don't understand the consumer, I don't think. They think, oh, whatever it is, we'll put it on the shelf and you'll buy it. You buy it.
I mean,
and no, I don't want 100 different Rey figures from Star Wars.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And then they just become peg warmers. I mean, Lando Calrissian was a great character, but why we got 50 of him on the shelf and no one else? It's or Princess Leia.
The other side of it as well. One of the most, for me, I guess, in my opinion, one of the biggest loved characters in original Star Wars is Boba Fett. But all you ever hear at the moment is too many Boba Fetts, another Boba Fett. Well, the thing, if we want loved characters and characters we think will sell, Boba Fett has to be one of those. But then you've got people saying too many. We've had too many Boba Fetts, so it's. Yeah,
I think it's the Mando. The Mando, because he's got the same armor as Mando.
Yeah.
And they flooded the market with different Mandos. It's just
Yeah.
the Mandalorian stuff. And
it is difficult, but it's their business. They should, like you said, they should know their fan base. But even when I don't watch many of these, when they do these live reveals and things like that, a lot of the lads watch them, I don't. And there's a few, but even on the clips I've seen of some of these guys that work for Hasbro revealing figures or revealing whatever, they often get information wrong about certain figures or certain and you think even the people putting it to us and working for this company don't seem like fans because they don't know basic stuff. So you think, how you're trying to sell this to me and you don't know about it clearly, so they come on with their Star Wars t-shirt, hey, I'm a Star Wars fan, and try and tell you about a figure, and you think, well, that's not right. They drop themselves in it on these live shows all the time, and you think it's a bit like trying to sell a carpet when you're not a carpet fitter or you're not a carpet retailer, and just, I'm going to tell you about this carpet when you don't know about it.
Regardless of what it is, you have to believe in what you're selling. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
Thanks, Gina.
I think they need what they really need is a good film to have an IP with, sort of thing. A blockbuster film that people are into, and then it drives that toy market. Like He-Man. I mean, they made the figures first, but they had to do the cartoon afterwards to drive the, to link it with, so that they were into it, and it took off.
Yeah.
Simon.
Hasbro,
sorry, Matt, you're trying to wrap this up.
Hasbro, if you have a problem, and if no one can help,
yeah,
and if you can find them, maybe you should hire the A-Team.
That's a short right there.
And on that note,
Lord Malvader, like, there was a comment earlier, and I think this is what they're trying to do. Like, they are releasing. I think they're trying to look at the future as well. They can't. We're all going to go one day in the future, shortly, and we can. I think they're trying to. I can see this on the shelves when you look at they aiming some lines at kids these days, like for Star Wars. I can see they got like the Star Wars line, like there's a little kiddie ones, and I think they've got to. I think they're looking at that as well.
Yeah, so
they're trying to do. There's a bit of a balance there for collectors and.
But none of them. I know what the one you mean, but none of them are sold. I mean, even down here.
Well, kids,
I mean, the shelves are full of them. They've discounted them down to like the figures down to like $5 each. Nobody wants them.
Yeah, kids, well, not too many kids are playing with like we used to play. I guess there is some.
That's true.
Discussion, yeah,
that is absolutely true.
They're rather there. We can all vouch that we know kids that just want to sit on games all day, whether it's on their phone or on gaming consoles. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
for your retirement fund. So it's all right.
Well, that's like Dave. You got the those computer ones there, the play sets. That's where they need to bring that sort of back, but in a more modern era. Have PlayStations or
might attract them. Yeah,
I like play. Come on, you can't beat a good old CRT. Look at that.
That's brilliant. That is brilliant.
Come on, you're not going to beat that, are you?
Wow.
There's got to be a video in the future, Dave. Got to be. So, what's coming up on VTR, Vintage Toy Rush, this week?
Well, literally just before the stream, I released a video on the Palitoy Action Force playset. And then if I get a chance tomorrow, I'll put out a video on the Sandown Toy Fair.
There will be one. Good.
That was this morning. And then I haven't done a restoration for a while. I actually did a poll on my YouTube community page asking what kinds of videos do you like best, and restorations came out top. So I've got a few restorations already filmed. I just haven't edited them yet. Luke knows what one of them is. So I'm hoping to get a few restorations pushed out, which I've already filmed, and I've got a few I want to get on with. So Galaxy Rangers is a restoration I want to perform, and actually today at the Sandown, one of the dealers that I know quite well has asked me to restore a Godzilla figure for them.
Ooh.
So I'm hoping to get that done. And actually another dealer came up to me and said, I've got another thing that I'd like you to restore for me. So people are just coming up to me now asking me to restore stuff for them, which I think is quite cool.
Victim of your own success, Dave.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I love it. I actually quite like restoring stuff for other people. I think that's
it's
pretty
great,
cool.
and your restoration videos are inspired, mate. I think they're fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, just more of the usual stuff on VTR.
Can I ask what Godzilla, like? What's the year? Is it a Bandai? Is it?
Let
like
me
a
let me show you.
I know it's not yours, but
So we can send him all our broken toys and he'll fix them.
that's right.
This
Me
guy.
first.
Oh, wait. Well, let me make you. Sorry, I've got to make you big. I'm just sitting here admiring it. I've got to make you big.
Ah,
Wow.
So this has a wire sticking out the back because it should have a remote control. It's a single button remote control.
Yep.
So it will walk, and his mouth opens. And I understand that you're supposed to be able to add something to it that will make him smoke out of his mouth as well.
Is that Japanese?
Yeah, I believe it's Japanese. The guy said it was from the 60s or 70s.
Wow.
Beautiful.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to trying to crack this open and getting it back to working order. That's I'm looking forward to that one.
I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with that. That looks
is that screwed together, or is it sort of like, you know, how they fold the steel over like that, like crimped over?
Yeah, it looks like tabs that have been.
Yeah, because it's going to be difficult because when you that sort of thing, when you got the tab leaved over, as soon as you move it up, it weakens on the.
Yeah.
Because you're bending it.
Yeah.
So that'd be quite interesting. How you're going to get it apart without that.
Very carefully, because I really don't want to break it anymore. Yeah.
We will be. Not us, but yeah, there will be. Lukey, well, I'm guessing you have a video coming out Sunday morning your time.
Yes,
for us.
Yeah, it may be. So tomorrow morning or tonight for you, it may be something involving this line.
Okay.
And then next week there may be a collaboration coming.
We always like a good Reynolds Reviews collaboration.
Yeah, but tomorrow, or like I say, this evening for you guys, it might be something connected to this line here.
One of your favourite lines.
Yes.
Beautiful. We in the comments yesterday of ZSR, we have spoken, Luke, about your weekly videos. You just cannot go do fortnightly or monthly or anything like that. You have to stay weekly. Sunday.
The complete honest answer is
yes.
I think I would like to potentially not do a weekly video. Part of me says I'd like to just every other week just go, don't have to film this week, and just but then my OCD kicks in and just goes, no, you're doing one. I think if you watch my videos every week, I think knowing that information now, that sometimes I wake up, I always do my filming on a Friday because I have an empty house on a Friday, and I feel I need to film in an empty house because I feel even if nobody comes into the room, I feel distracted because I can hear background noise and things happening outside, and I don't feel I can get into the filming mode, if you like. So I always feel I need to film in an empty house, and I always film on a Friday. But there are some Fridays I wake up and I just sort of go, I'm just not feeling it. Some days I just wake up and I really don't want to do it, but I do it because I do one every week, and that's it. But knowing that information, now I think if you were to watch a few of my videos in a row, I think you'd be able to tell the videos where I'm not feeling it to the ones where I am.
Yeah.
I think you can hear it in my voice sometimes. But yeah. So there is part of me that would like to not do it every week, but the OCD then just goes, nah. This is what you do now, yeah.
I used to do a weekly video, and then I think I was in the same situation where it's like, I don't really want to give it up, and then I just thought I've got to do it, so I just forced myself to do it, and and that actually I prefer it that way. I didn't like the constant pressure of having to put one out every week.
And there is constant pressure, even if you're only putting it on yourself. I think it's a little bit different for me, Dave, because I can do mine in a day, whereas yours are always so extensive, and the amount of editing and time and effort that goes into it. Yours will span over several weeks, I dare say. Whereas usually, I can usually get my raw footage done in a day, and then I can sit on a night editing on my phone because I do it all on my phone. So I can sit on an evening, when we're downstairs, and I can just,
Really?
so I can generally do mine in a day, at the most 2 days, whereas yours take a lot more time and effort, don't they? So I can see why you sort of turn to they're just when they're ready, and that's when I'll drop them. But I think because I can do them weekly, I feel that that's what I've got to do. But I have got into this circle of I release one every week, and that's that. But some weeks I do wake up and just go, I can do without it today. But then I do it. Yeah.
Scotty, what do you got coming up? What are you
Nothing scheduled just at the minute, but I'm working on 2 things at once. I'm working on a vintage TMNT pickups video, sharing the latest additions to that collection, and there's tons of them. At the same time as a little secret project, which is currently in the works as well.
Everyone loves a secret project.
Yeah, little secret project that'll drop when the time is right.
And Andrew, you filmed something for us.
Yes, I filmed something. I filmed something last night after a few scotches. So,
What's going to be said?
Someone dropped a nice bottle of Shivers Regal off to me, and I sort of got into it. And
I can highly recommend this, Andrew.
and I tell you, it makes the creative juices flow a bit easier.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
so I've sort of done like a with the action figures, and I'm calling it Cobra Commander's Big Mistake, and it involves the them threatening the flag and all this kind of thing. So I filmed that last night, and Matt will have to do a little bit of editing for me, and just a bit of a fun little short video, and hopefully next month Matt will come down for the toy show, and we sort of want to do a 1,000 subscriber video.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Well, we assume we're going to get there by the looks of it.
We'll get there. I think we'll get there quicker than we'll do the video somehow.
Yeah, maybe. We got the 3 of us, Scotty, Andrew, and I. We got a live stream on Wednesday. I think I'm not sure if you guys will be able to catch it in the UK because it's going to be 7 p.m. our time, which converts to, I don't know, what is that?
6 a.m. 6
like
a.m.
8
our time.
8 a.m. for you guys, but it's like a work day, so for you guys. So but anyway, we're looking forward to that. We're going to be chowing down on some chocolate bars and talking chocolate bars, something different. I'll find a way to incorporate toys into that.
Very different.
Do. Hopefully, PGM.
You really are going to be talking about chocolate bars.
Yeah,
on the PGM show. Yeah,
on the PGM.
Oh, on PGM show. Oh, right.
Okay. That explains a lot.
Is it Australian chocolate bars or world chocolate bars?
I think it's more just chocolate bars that are top 5 like chocolate bars. So
can they exist still, or do they not exist anymore? Is it got to be
anything?
Anything, right? Okay.
Yeah, and I'm trying
to. All the good ones don't exist anymore, do they?
Yeah, all the good ones are gone. So I'm trying to get props for mine, of course. I love props.
Yeah. Actually, I forgot to eat my chocolate. I've got a little Kit Kat here just to keep me going.
Oh, Kit Kat, yes.
Top 5 for Dave. Kit Kat. That's it.
I said to Matt, I thought, I wonder if they still make Birdie Beetle. The Birdie Beetle chocolates. Remember them?
Yeah, they still do them. They were an Easter show, institution.
Easter show, yeah. Because we've got one of those big specialty chocolate shops down in where I live. So I'm going to go down and see if they actually still sell them.
Yes. I'd like to do his plays, retro play. And I think we also got one with our Collecticon at the end of March. We've got the person Amy Chandler who organises a bunch of Collecticons in New South Wales. We're going to have a chat to her. Amy's got a big collection as well, so she kind of said that a lot of people don't ask her about a collection. She's a toy collector as well, so we thought we'll get her on and allow her to show off her collection and just have a chat to her about what's coming up in Collecticon this year for us New South Welshmen. and all the collectors. So yeah, that's coming up the following Wednesday. So yeah, we've got a couple of live streams for Keep On Collecting and our guests. I think Scotty's in there, and we're going to get Dean from Retro Taylor's Toy Hunters in there as well. So anyway, that's it. Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much, Dave, Luke, Scotty, and Andrew for joining me.
You're welcome.
Yeah, always
Absolute pleasure.
Yeah, I'm sorry
Always
it's gone
great.
way over time. I really apologise to everybody.
No, that's our fault, really.
Everyone in the chat, thank you very much for joining us. And,
Yeah,
and
thank you,
like
everybody.
You guys are on fire tonight.
Thank you,
Just having chat, like it's adds to the whole live stream experience. Just with your fielding your questions and your comments, it makes it just a whole lot more pleasant experience. So we really enjoy you guys showing up and joining us. So thank you very much. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll hope to catch you soon. Remember to keep on collecting.
See you later, guys.